So we're live now, right? Sweet. It's a long way to drive to find a shamrock. Yeah, that's the other thing. Why I'm not hearing stuff from YouTube. Are you guys hearing us? Yeah, they said they can't hear. James, you broke it.
Hello, now you can hear me. It's cause last week we changed my audio input to that thing that you were using, like that plugin, and so it wasn't on the microphone.
Oh yeah.
So I forgot to change that back. It's my bad. So it's just Bob just like responding to everything I was saying.
I still can't hear anything from YouTube, but whatever.
Is it muted?
I don't need to. No, it's weird. It's not.
It's just like, I don't want you to hear this, Bob. You can't hear your own stream.
It's probably like going to one of the other 5 sources on my computer.
Yeah, I can hear us, so we're good. Oh God. Aren't you guys supposed to be? Oh no, it's tomorrow. You're doing a live podcast. So
Yeah,
they could spend the whole night here.
They pushed it off just so they could harass us all night.
You thought I was ignoring Bob? That would have been great. I just wasn't responding to anything Bob said.
It
would be reversing the roles, kind of.
Said, you know, if that's what was going on, I would have said something to make him mad.
Yeah, he would have just started playing Cooking by the Book until I said something.
Exactly. What this is kind of bugging me on where my audio is going to.
It's like streaming to your car or something.
God only knows. The little pod for my speakers fell down my desk. I can't reach it. Oh, I don't know. It's weird.
Did you get rid of that monitor yet, or is it still in your hall?
I need to find out if I can just put it out with the trash or not. I don't know how.
Yeah,
I don't know what I have to do. Yeah. We don't know what to talk about, Marcus. Help us out here.
Yeah, what are you guys talking about tomorrow? Because we have nothing. We have 2 news stories and a weekly poll, and and other than that, we're pretty dry of any content for this week's show.
Oh, that tap.
Apparently, the
ginger beer, does that count?
Straight H2O. We're rocking with it tonight. Apparently, the new Justice League 4-hour cut is supposed to be really good. Airtime Mike just messaged me about it. Just thought I'd share that. I don't know if anybody watches DC movies or not. I did not like the original, but he said the original is it's actually like it's a greatly improved on the original. We could talk about Florida, Pam, but Bob won't be there, so that might be a little isolating. We really won't be able to talk about anything.
I don't really care.
Sure, we'll talk about it, because Bob was going to go, so he still has the opportunity to go if he wants. Haven't we talked about a trip? I guess I can go into depth.
When are you
A
guys
little bit
going?
more.
Are you guys going what, the 4th and 5th?
To when? To where? To who?
When are you going to Florida? Is it like 4th or 5th or something like that?
We're going the 3rd of April through the 10th of April. Is that a? I'm considering it again, or is that a just curious? Out of
No, I can't. I need to find another car and furniture and like
storage. Yeah, I got you. You got to build that 3D printer enclosure. Yeah, you got a lot on your hands.
yeah.
Pam, I'm honestly I'm forgetting the order of the trip right now. If you want to send that in the chat, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Marcus, we don't roll over RMCs here. That's a drunk riders thing.
Yeah. I'm not an RMC fanboy.
I can't hear you. I can't listen, Marcus. I can't hear.
Are you saying?
I actually, Cam might not be wrong. I'm telling you, like, I feel like.
Oh my God, no! All right. Please, Cam, type in the chat right now. I was just kidding. That was a joke. As much as I think Icebreaker is going to be a pretty good ride, that is ludicrous.
Why is it ludicrous?
Because it's not. It's Iron Gwazi is not going
Six
to be.
Flags World of Adventure. I was there once.
All right, you guys can have your delusions over in the corner. All right, Cam said he was joking. All right, good. Thank you, Cam.
But there's a chance.
You can take a chance on chance, but I don't know if there's a chance. Whoa.
I don't know, man. I like Iron. The thing about Iron Gwazi is it doesn't even look like the things that I actually do like about RMC. It doesn't look like Iron Gwazi has a lot of that.
So some of the elements and maneuvers.
Yeah, it's just like
I
don't
don't think Iron Gwazi is going to be as good as people think it's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. If Icebreaker is better than Iron Gwazi, then we're in trouble. I think because Icebreaker looks fun. It looks like a fun ride, but it's not.
Well,
gonna be,
wait, hold up. What opened with Copperhead? Wasn't Copperhead like one of the
Copperhead
like
Strike?
there wasn't much. Yeah, there wasn't many other coasters that opened that year, were there?
That was 2018, right? I think some good things opened. That was 2018, yeah, because that was with Steel Vengeance and
so
stuff.
Then
that was 2019 actually. I could have sworn it was 2018. All right, it was the year after.
Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think you're yeah. Okay. Why was I thinking that was the year after? Still Curtain was 2019. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, it's like the last year that Cedar Fair parks got big expansions. I think Icebreaker is going to surprise a lot of people. Just the way
I think it will. I'm not discrediting the ride.
Of the launch.
Mm-hmm. I'm not discrediting the ride. I don't think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be good. But if it's better than Iron Gwazi, that's going to be, and I guess better subjective still. But if the majority agrees that it's better than Iron Gwazi, we're in trouble. I think because that means Iron Gwazi
this is the problem.
Pretty bad.
We'll never know for sure because RMC fanboys will never admit to it.
Well, I'll be able to tell. I will be a testament because I don't consider myself an RMC fanboy. I like RMC a lot, but they're not my favorite manufacturer. So. Me and Bob would be.
I think that's true.
I don't know. Bob might be Bob's like the polar opposite. He's not an RMC fanboy. He's like an RMC. You're not a hater, but
No,
You're
I don't
definitely
hate
on a
arms.
spectrum. I think you're further. So you might be a little bit. I feel like I'm kind of neutral on the stance because as much as I don't think Iron Gwazi will be worse than Icebreaker, if it is, I'll say it. If I like Icebreaker better, I'll say it.
I agree that Still Vengeance was the peak, but I also don't think that it was the best. I still think Twisted Timbers is better than Still Vengeance.
Nah,
Just
nah, brah,
yeah.
nah. That's
Yep.
that's not even, I guess, an RMC fanboy thing because that's just two RMCs there. But no, Steel Vengeance is without a doubt their best creation, I think. Lightning Rod comes close. Lightning Rod's up there.
Lightning Rod's good. Yeah.
I need to. Oh, we need to talk about that opening. We didn't talk about that opening because it hadn't opened yet. I mean,
Oh yeah,
we
can
need to talk about that.
Rolled back, and then how it rolled back,
and then
how it rolled
back again. But it's supposed to be pretty good. People are saying it's about on par with the experience that you got before, so that's good. Hey, since we have so much activity in the chat right now, the weekly poll this week was what would you have done with Mystery Mine if you had given the chance? If you guys want to answer this real quick, because I know sometimes people like to answer it the night of. You can either keep the same track and layout. Actually, here, I'll just copy and paste it to the chat so you guys can.
Oh god, don't ask Marcus. That was one of the many things that they shit on last week.
I don't like the new layout of Mystery Mine either. So if that's what you mean.
No, no. You should have listened to the Drunk Riders last week. They just like everything. They just hated on everything. Everything.
So that's what would you have done with Mystery Mine? And then here are the choices here.
Oh, there were choices.
And then if you choose C, just if you want to explain what elements you would add, that'd be great. So we have a little bit more of a discussion there. I'm surprised you know what Mystery Mine is, to be honest.
I mean, it's a Gertzlauer. There's no real smoothing on Gertzlauer.
Well, I was thinking you seem to be pretty encapsulated with Seaworld, so I'm surprised you know anything outside of them. I'm gonna go grab my phone charger.
Dollywood's all about no, I can't even remember the name of it. Dragonflyer. That's it. Dragonflyer. Actually, all the coasters at Dollywood are like really, really good rides.
I'd say that it's very uncommon, but I think Busch Gardens Williamsburg is actually one of those parks too, which we're kind of lucky to have.
I mean, no, they have a dive coaster.
What? You don't like Griffin?
Where the hell have you been?
How did I not know this?
I don't know.
We've been to Busch Gardens quite a few times together too.
I don't like dive coasters.
What?
I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't like. They're just like, meh, whatever.
But you'll ride them, right? It's not like Firebird.
No, yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were getting into like a guy, I won't ride them kind of thing again. And I'm like, what the heck?
It's a dive coaster. I've been through this, Marcus. It's a dive coaster. That's its problem. It's a dive. I don't necessarily hate them. I just don't really like them. They're just not. They're just. What airtime? Where do you get airtime on Griffin?
Yeah. Okay. That I don't agree with. There's like a little tiny section of. There's like a little tiny airtime hill right before the splashdown, but that doesn't really provide much airtime. Maybe he's talking about on the drop because there's a good feeling on the drop.
And how are you not going to put Verbolten in your top 3?
Yeah, Verbolten is better than Griffin, I think, for sure. It's a way more of a complete
Better
experience.
than,
If it was
than open, guys.
no, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
Apollo's is not trash either. Might
No.
have to ban drunk riders now. I'm just after that because I'm a big Apollo's fan. That's probably like, you have like your top coasters and then you have your favorite coasters. That's probably my favorite coaster just to continue to go back to and ride. I've ridden it. That's the most ridden coaster I have. It means a lot to me. So how dare you insult me? I'm just kidding. We still have like
Shakira?
nothing to talk about. Shakira.
Cam, are you a Shakira fan?
Shakira. Kamina mina, waka waka, kamina mina, kamina. It's time for Africa. That's my favorite Shakira song.
I like Pandemonium in the front.
I've ridden Apollo's, I think, about 400 times now.
If only Alpengeist didn't have that Cobra roll.
That is honest. That is easily the best part of the ride. Like, it's insane that you don't like that element. Without the Cobra roll, Alpengeist is nothing. Like, it's not that fun. That's the climax of the ride. All the speed, all the intensity. That's where it shines. That's where it's.
So Marcus, where's the next stumble? You can let the cat out of the bag early here.
Yeah, but Bob won't even tell me one of his little tweets he's going to send out.
Early at Camden Park. I know we're going to Camden Park. I know it.
No, God, please no. Candy was great in the back. It was good in the front too. I will agree. It's pretty good everywhere. But the back is the.
It's better in the front.
The back is where it's at.
No, it's better in the front.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I feel like even at this point, if you rode it in the back and liked it better in the back, you wouldn't admit it. Like if you go back, because your season pass holder.
But I've rode it. No, I
don't know. You, Pam, and Cam seem pretty determined on the front row there.
James, don't be like pawning your tricks off on me. We know what you do, but like
what?
I'm honest about.
Oh, Bob. I only learned from the best. Oh, damn, Bob. Whew, it's getting out of hand quickly.
It is. It's because Marcus is here. It's all Marcus's fault. We blame him.
All right. News. Didn't we say something? Oh, Dollywood lightning rod.
Yeah. I don't know what else to talk about. There's
California. We need to talk about California.
Oh yeah, California is like opening up. They're threatening to open anyway.
We'll do it. We will do it if you don't. Dollywood.
This was probably the best week in park Twitter history.
I don't know. We've had some good ones before. Kentucky Kingdom.
Yeah, that's true, but
Dollywood lightning rod. –
that exchange with Carowinds, Universal, SeaWorld, and SDC. That was
It's beautiful.
yeah, I was because it was just so beautiful.
Now I have Shakira stuck in my head. Yeah, Bob was at it this week, retweeting.
That was a quick walk down your street.
That was pretty quick. That was pretty funny. I was wondering. I was gonna say something. I was like, wait. I think he's the Flash. He just like took a. Vroom, vroom. I'm not gonna lie. I had like a Photoshop, a much better one than the one that goes around with like the sharks in the Mystic River Photoshop that I created. And I was gonna maybe post that, but nah, I'm not. It's not
Sharks?
done.
What
It's
shark?
not done yet. Yeah, what sharks? Where are they at?
What sharks? There's no sharks.
Oh, you mean the 25-foot great white shark? No, that's not. That's not real. I don't know. Me and Bob were both there Saturday, actually. Well, Bob was there at nighttime Saturday. I was there. Shakira's alright. I don't know. I'm not. I like her, but I wouldn't say I'm a super fan. Snyder.
Is your ADD kicking in, Marcus?
Hey, wait. Does that mean?
Can't sit here.
I was talking about that. Did you? So you're gonna watch the Snyder cut of? He's gonna be up. He might be up later than us. Actually, that's a 4-hour long movie.
What? What are you talking about?
He said I'm gonna Snyder cut this.
What?
They released a new. So there was a movie. I don't know if you heard of Justice League a few years back. The Justice League, the DC version movie.
Yeah.
They just released a new extended cut. It's 4 hours long and it's supposed to be really good. I don't know if
You're gonna have to rephrase that, Marcus. Sorry.
PG-13. We try to be as much as we can.
At 30 minutes, we like. So
Mark, you've obviously it's pretty apparent that you've never watched a live look-in with us, other than like the 5 minutes you join at the beginning every week and say it's pretty cake to bake a pretty cake or whatever. Because we pretty rarely start 30 minutes in.
We've already had you on the show, so
Yeah, if you don't remember, you might have been too plastered to remember that. But
yeah, that's
yeah, no,
usually
that's
the
100%. Yeah, I get it. I understand why. I was just kidding.
But see, that's not a good excuse tonight. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
He's got a Snyder cut this though.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would be doing that right now if we weren't. Because everyone's talking. I was just Airtime Mike just messaged me and said that it's supposed to be really good. He said he gave the original a C minus, and he's giving this an A. On a scale of a grade scale there.
For a 4-hour movie.
Yeah, must be pretty. It's supposed to a lot of the character. There's a lot more character development, a lot more action sequences.
That's what we could do the second half of the show. We can
Let's watch that.
go live to Marcus. We can go live to Marcus watching.
And now we go live to our correspondent in Texas watching.
He's not in Texas. He's in Ohio.
Ohio, sorry. That's what's his name in Texas, right? There's somebody in Texas. Mike?
Mike.
Yeah, Mike's in Texas, I think.
Great. Or is it Mark? Yeah, Mike.
I think it's Mike. Yeah,
Right? Mike.
it's Mike. But okay, live to our correspondent in Ohio, watching the 4-hour Snyder Cut. Marcus, how you doing? We're doing okay so far. It's going all right. Where did that come from? Mike Collins and
They
EB.
were on that show too.
What show? Oh, on our 100th episode? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got mentioned on Coaster Radio the other day too, so not to brag or anything, but now that you bring up Coaster Radio, oh man, I'm choking on my aspirations. Oh,
Don't die, James.
I got too cocky about being on Coaster Radio. All right, and God's like, nope. Pride is not. I used to listen to their flash briefings, but I just now that I do we do the podcast so much. Pretty much every news story they talk about, we talk about. It's good to hear their take, but they pretty much cover a lot of it on the actual show on Thursdays too. So I listen. I go. They have a live look too every Thursday, and I tune in on that. Not every Thursday. Every Tuesday. Sorry, if they did it every Thursday.
Tuesday. James does 3 things every Thursday night. That's why we're late so many times.
I'm trying to listen to the Drunk Riders and Coaster Radio, and then I'm like, all right, now I got to be with this freak Bob here and do this show.
Tell us how you really feel.
I call everybody a freak. You're not special.
I know. Oh. All right, are we just gonna run with 3 news stories?
No, we have 4.
Make this a short episode.
We still need California, as I've said. I thought maybe one of us would get to it, but we didn't. We just kept saying it and then never putting the actual link there.
Yeah, James isn't here to break stuff in my apartment.
Yeah, like use the force on your table and make it collapse.
Must have, because I wasn't. You were closer, so.
Is there any news on the actual parks that, like a list of the parks that reopened? Wait,
There's nothing.
Here's this article again. No screaming on California roller coasters and thrill rides. State guidelines say.
But they don't say that.
I know, but it's clickbait. It's complete clickbait. No screaming on California roller coasters and thrill rides. State guidelines say a roller coaster tradition as old as thrill rides themselves has to go silent in California. Screaming. That's literally the most clickbait thing I've ever heard. I mean, it's not like, oh,
Beyond the thrills.
The fate for screaming is unknown or whatever. It's literally just there is no screaming, and then it doesn't actually say that.
It's because they know, like, they can say whatever they want and.
Oh yeah, because they use the word. They use the word "may" in the actual. It may go silent. I mean, and then they have no evidence. They just say based on COVID health and safety protocols. But then there's no like link or quote from any representative.
There's nothing that says it.
That's absolutely insane. That's easily the worst clickbait I've ever seen. Like clickbait is it's supposed to be at least a little bit like, oh, like get you thinking like maybe this will happen. Like it's not supposed to be just like that's pretty blatantly saying there's no screaming and then has no evidence to back that up. All right, let me see if there's any link to the parks that are reopening.
We're not putting any of those links in the show notes, by the way. I don't want to give them traffic.
Oh, not with the screaming one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
People can find them if they want to, but
Yeah, no, that's cool. I wasn't going to. I'm trying to find one that actually
ridiculous.
talks about the openings of any of the parks. What do you know? The Los Angeles Times doesn't talk about anything to do with no screaming. Because
Yeah, how about that?
that's not at all a guideline that's been stated. All right, here's one that actually, yeah. The LA Times talks about when the parks might reopen, so.
No, we're still getting the show notes together because there's nothing to talk about this week.
Yeah, we've had difficulty finding any content. I guess we'll talk about the Florida trip, and that'll be it for the second half of the show. I mean,
yeah, I'm okay with this being a short show.
All right,
it's not going to be short. You'll say something to get me going, and then
I'll say, "How do you not like dive coasters?" And then,
we'll find a few rapid drills.
Oh, of course. It wouldn't be kosher talk if we didn't.
Marcus was just here, so Marcus already accused us of not cooking by the book.
All right, I'm going to find the tweet from Six Flags Magic Mountain because that's the park in particular. No one else has announced an official opening date, right? Like Knott's didn't announce an official one yet. Didn't they just say May?
No, somebody. Yeah, somebody else announced.
Actually, it might have been Knott's. Let me see. I know Knott's didn't say anything yet. Maybe it's California's Great America?
It was Disneyland. Somebody's opening on April 1st.
That's Six Flags Magic Mountain. I don't think anyone else has announced it yet. Maybe Universal. I don't see anything on the social media for the Cedar Fair properties in California.
I swear I just saw. I don't remember if I saw it on Twitter or Reddit.
Anybody in the chat, if you heard anything. Yeah, Disney we talked about last week. So that's why I haven't brought them up, because we don't need to talk about them again.
Oh.
I thought I saw Cedar Fair property too, but not nor California Great America.
Disneyland opened April 30th.
Yeah, we talked about them opening in late April last week.
Okay, Magic Mountain is opening on April 1st. Maybe that is it.
Oh, I thought you didn't hear what I was like, I just said that, Bob. Are you kidding me? I think that's it.
No,
I know. I thought you were like Magic Mountain. Oh, Magic Mountain's the one. And I was like, wait, but I just said that. You didn't hear me?
Yeah, I did. I didn't hear the date. You didn't say the date.
I did.
That's what I was
referring
to. I didn't hear the date.
You're too busy ignoring me.
Yep. It takes a lot of work to ignore you.
It's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult. It takes years of training. Yeah, I think it's Magic Mountain, and that's all. I think Not stated like last week that they are still planning on opening
What
like in May, but they haven't really announced when
what
in
about
May.
what about Six Flags Donkey Kong?
Discovery Kingdom.
Yeah,
Why do you call him Donkey Kong?
because every time I see SFDK, that's DK. That's Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, Discovery Kingdom is also April 1st. I haven't seen that because I don't follow them on Twitter. Actually, yes, I do. I don't know how I didn't see that. I just liked the tweet.
I thought I saw a sea of her property too, but maybe.
I thought I could have sworn I did too, but I don't think so. I mean,
Oh, wait, yep. California's Great America. We're excited to announce. Oh, May 22nd.
yeah, that's the date we already knew for them. A while back they announced that. I thought maybe they'd push it up, but they didn't. So, and then Knott's is still saying like they're doing their Boysenberry Festival till May 2nd, and then after that they say they don't know yet. So they're still saying it looks like May for them too, probably.
Pam, I've been thinking that too. Everybody shows up at the park and they're like, "Nope, April Fool's."
Governor Newsom's out there and like flipping everyone off. Nope, it was all
That's absolutely what I've been thinking.
How could you see Newsom out there like what? Turning people away? Hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, this is all a joke. Just that's the first day they're allowed to reopen, Pam. So that's why they're picking April 1st. They're saying like the start of April, California is allowing parks to reopen, so that's why everyone's choosing that. Or the Six Flags parks are choosing to open then.
Where did that virtual queue comment come from? That seemed to come out of nowhere. Sorry, folks.
I think it's what we're talking about. We're talking about. He said, "Let's talk about Florida."
Oh, is that what? I don't know. Just looking in the chat, it's like all talking about April Fools, and April 1st, and then all of a sudden, Cam's like, Hagrid's has a virtual queue.
That is random.
I don't know. It just seemed random.
Yeah, we are. It was. Yeah, I think just for a second.
We are the world.
We are the children. We are the. So let's start again and let's start giving. I don't know why that song didn't catch on as much as I bless the rain.
I don't know. Tell us, oh Music One.
I mean, I don't think it's as good of a song, I guess, but still, I mean, it's not a bad song. And you'd think with all the celebrities in it, it would have gotten a lot. I mean, it was a big song. It just wasn't like nearly as huge, and it's not nearly as overplayed as what is the other Christmas one?
Do they know it's Christmas
yeah, that's
time at all?
For some reason, I sung Africa by Toto earlier. I mean, that is a big song too, but and it has a similar correlation. But
I need to adjust do a small adjustment on my volume. Just stand by
Okay.
because it
Okay.
might go crazy.
That sounded funny at first. I was like, what?
Okay,
I'm sorry.
did that change at all?
No, not really. Whew, that was good. We're doing Fun Spot, as far as I understand, like certain times at night after the other parks. Thursday, me and Timmy might go to Disney Hollywood Studios still, if we have time to do nothing.
Say hi to Buzz for me.
We're gonna get Fun Spot. Yeah, I will. For some reason, Fun Spot. I mean,
Why are you talking about this now? We should be talking about this the second half of the show.
yeah, never mind. Shut up, Cam. It's all your fault. I'm gonna blame Cam. Now I have Shakira, USA for the World, and whatever the heck, Band-Aid or whatever in my head. Live Aid. No, that's not Live Aid. What am I? Who sings?
Band-Aid.
Is it Band-Aid? All right, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
because it was everybody.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So now I have. It's time for Africa and do they know it? And we are the world. We're gonna get copyrighted for me singing these songs, bro.
Probably.
Bob started it though.
See? Always my fault.
You started singing "We Are the World." For once, it might actually really be your fault.
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh my god! There's got to be one news story, one more. I feel like one more
No.
would cap it off.
There's no news stories. Let's just sit here until news breaks.
It'll happen. 11:59. It always happens right
Yeah,
after you
it
record.
will.
Like the day after, it's like, hey, the biggest news story of all time is dropped. It'll be like the parks are, I don't know, COVID's cured or something, and we're allowed to go back to parks or whatever. It's done. They figured it out. It's gone. Everything's back to normal, and we'll be like, well, I guess we have to wait till next Thursday to break the news to everyone. Should we talk about the woman who found love on a roller coaster and had children with it?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
No.
Is it too absurd
No.
for you?
Just no. It's absurd, yeah.
That would be a funny way to start off the show.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't.
Do you know?
I don't.
How do you have a child with a roller coaster? I mean, what is this? I'm gonna read this now.
I don't. No, Cedar Point released
I just imagine this woman out there like,
early entry info.
what? I mean, this woman is clinically insane. All right, I agree. That's kind of crazy. I can just imagine her out there.
I saw it. I started reading it. It just goes to I don't. There's too much there that I don't really want to get into all that. I don't know why my volume seems weird. Like it's not.
Oh, there's a new theme park planned for the Wisconsin Dells. I didn't know that. Wow, this is Screamscape again. So let's see. If there's no link to anything, I don't ever trust this. But let's see if there's a link.
Holy crap, Pam, where have you been?
What'd she say?
Times about that because it like broke. Don't you remember it?
Oh,
Like
geez,
derailing
whoa. Yeah.
and then reopening.
We
And
talked
then
about it on the show,
we
like
had a whole
multiple
big
multiple
discussion, yeah.
episodes. Multiple episodes we talked about that. Just
See, she doesn't even listen to our show when she's listening to our show.
I swear to God. That is bad, Pam. You can't talk your way out of this one. Oh, you were teaching? You were teaching while we were listening to our show. All right. That makes
What are you
sense.
teaching?
If you're teaching the kids, Pam, I'm okay with that. I love that.
It makes
That's
a lot
great.
of sense.
But you can't say you listen to our show then. If you're teaching while you're
And then
and then
hello,
what?
are you alive?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait,
Okay, Pam.
Pam,
That's
it wasn't last week. It was like a while ago. And we let I know for a fact that, well, maybe not a fact. I'm almost certain that we actually led the show with that story too.
it might have been, yeah. I think the name of the show might have been. I think it was. I think it was like. I'm gonna have to find it now. I think it's around. I think it's pertaining to that story actually. Testing schmesting. I think that's it. Because people were like, "Oh, they're testing the new." Yep. While testing the new trains for the Big Apple coaster, an oopsie occurred that has the community uproar. But within the week, the ride is already back to testing. And that's when we were like, "Oh yeah, you don't need to test rides or whatever." We made a whole thing about it.
Yeah.
That was let's see. It wasn't the first story, no. But it was probably the biggest part of that whole show.
So Still Vengeance will only be part of early entry on Saturday and Sundays only.
I mean, honestly, if you want to put that there, that's fine. There looks like there might be a new Wisconsin Dells park, but there's, I don't know, they still have to file permits for it, so I don't know if it's 100%. There's a link to it, though. There's a commission that has approved the plans for a new amusement park. Could be coming to Wisconsin Dells, but it needs further approval from the city and state.
Also new this year, due to the popularity of some attractions, ride lines may close prior to park closing time in order to accommodate riders
those
within park operating hours.
Boo. I'm going to have to implement that probably. They're probably going to implement that at all the parks, Cedar Fair parks. I hate that. That's so ridiculous. They need to list the time that they're going to close the rides then. Because to me, the park closing is that's when everything closes down, and that's when the lines are shut down. So you need to say all right, ride close time is this time, and then the park close time is this time. If you're going to do that, I think, because it's kind of unfair for people to be walking over to a ride and think they have time to get on it again.
I don't know. You're just sore because you can't get your last ride.
No, but it's ridiculous if you just anybody's like, oh, let's go get one more ride on this ride, and it's 8:30, and oh, we'll have till 9 and the park closes, and then nope, sorry, the line's closed. Wait, but we still have 30 minutes until the park closes. Well, sorry, too bad. You should have just assumed that we'd close this line early.
I mean, they're kind of telling you that right now. Why are we talking about this now? We should be talking about this on the show.
I just said put it on the show and we'll talk about it. They are telling us right now, but they said it might happen here, it might happen there. It's not.
Would you rather them just by default close everything early, even if they
Yep, I
could
would
accommodate longer?
No, I would rather them say
No, you wouldn't, because you'd be like, it would be like 10-2, and you'd be like, look, see, the ride's not even running.
no, I would not. Oh, Bob, you're killing me.
You absolutely would.
Incorrect.
I know, Pam. He wants to art. All right.
Cam doesn't want us to start the show. He said no.
We need to start the show.
I would rather them have a solidified date or time.
All right, come on. Start the show. We don't need to be talking about this right now, because then we won't talk about it later.
All right, let me pull up all the links and then we'll be ready to go. Have you tested your audio?
I've been testing my audio.
All right, I'm making sure. I didn't know.
Hence why before I said I had to adjust my volume.
I didn't know
Still
if that
seems
was
kinda
because you
odd.
were...
It was because I was
Okay.
testing my audio, James.
Okay. I had no way of really understanding that. I thought sometimes you just do it at the random.
I just changed my volume for random.
You have. You've been like, I'm coming... not random, but like you were listening to the live stream and you thought you were coming in loud or something. I didn't know if that was what happened or what. Or if somebody had said something in the chat or what. It's happened before. It's not... Stop being a freak.
What's in a Cam? Fine, start it. Okay, Cam.
All right.
It's our executive producer over there.
Get on with it, boys.
Cam's gonna be our Kevin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kevin Welch.
Yeah, Kevin from the Drunk Riders.
Or he could be Brian Wackler from Coaster Radio. I think he's an executive producer of their show.
Well, Kevin actually does stuff. I'm not really sure how that works, but
Well, I mean, I think Brian does stuff too for Coaster Radio. I think they have like a meeting every week, and they like talk to them about new stuff they could do on the show.
yeah, but it's also a Patreon thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're kind of paying them to do that.
Kevin's actually like, I don't know. Kevin's like there for the recordings.
He just doesn't say
He
anything.
just doesn't talk usually.
Does he sometimes just butt in? Just
He does every now and then.
it's hilarious. Just some random
Usually
guy.
to yell at them, like, okay, you need to get back on topic.
He's like their overlord, like their land. Like, give it. Come on, guys, snap back to it. That's hilarious. Just some random guy comes on every once in a while and it's like, get back on topic. We probably...
Hey guys, there's only 5 hours left to save $20 on royalty admission tickets at Dutch Wonderland.
Oh, I was surprised. I thought you were going to say Kennywood.
Same difference. They probably have the same sale going on. It'll last for the next 3 months.
Guys, we're about to open. All right. Do you want to start the podcast? It's up to you. We don't have to.
I've been saying that.
We can just call it a night.
Lightning runs like one of my favorite coasters, Pam. I don't know what your problem is.
Pam, just start running and then you'll be good. That's all. All you gotta do.
Gosh darn it, Hyde. You...
Did you do something? Do something good or do something bad? Or a little bit of both?
He actually posted the Conneaut Lake story.
Oh, before you? Are you mad? He needs to have, oh, I didn't even realize that. He cites safety concerns and needs to have engineers review it.
All right.
Hyde finds out about everything, I know.
I don't think James ever remembers how to start the show. That's why it always takes so long.
Yeah, or
We like say,
Bob
like,
might have
let's
been
start the show.
tweeting at Hyde or something. I don't know.
The only reason why I picked up my phone is because I was waiting for you to say, okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone.
Wait, are you serious? Are you ready? Are you finally ready?
No, I haven't tested my audio yet.
See?
But it doesn't take me 4.5 hours. Hey, guys, what's going on? I'm James, testing my audio for episode number 105. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm getting quiet now. It's too quiet.
105.
That was the good old days.
Isn't that like how old Wild One is?
Yeah, I think so. Pam, you need to run. 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 All right, I'm ready.
Alrighty then.
I mean, I've been ready, but I'm just kidding.
Dude, don't start that. 3,
Sarcasm.
2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coaster Talk Podcast. This is episode number 113. It is March 27th. I didn't write it down. Talking about the new sensations.
To be expected. It's to be expected. Always takes us 3 times.
If it doesn't, then it's not going to be as good. So I could say 20.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we got to perfect it. I guess all right. We'll talk about Busch Gardens, even though we weren't there together. But all right, you ready?
3, 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coaster Talk Podcast, your source for everything roller coasters. This is episode number 113. It is March 21st, 2021. I'm James.
And I'm Bob.
And we went to Busch Gardens this past week, and we actually completely missed each other. But both of us were there the exact same day.
What James doesn't know is I planned that.
It was all purposeful there. Oh, good, he's gone. All right, all right.
I can't go in the morning, James. Nope, can't.
Yeah. Oh, why didn't you go in the morning? Actually,
Actually, there's no way because Friday
Yeah, I
nights I
know.
usually work really late. There's no way I could have made it down there in time.
Yeah, I gotcha. Good excuse. But yes, I was there Saturday for the morning session 10 to 4, and then you followed for the 5:30 to 10:30 session, correct? Is it 5:30 to
Yep.
10:30? All right.
I know we left at like 9:30, I think.
You had too much of it.
It got boring. There was like nothing else to do.
Did you guys go somewhere else
it was
after or something?
strange. No.
Just headed out.
Yep.
Well,
I
I
was,
went. I went back Sunday, and I can tell you it was a completely different Busch Gardens.
Yeah, I heard that.
It was pretty
Well,
crazy. You would have turned around
I-
and left. I'm pretty sure if you had been there.
Well, let me tell you this. My attitude towards SeaWorld has been getting a lot better. I still think they're just not treating their pass holders well. And I was really, really angry Saturday because when they started reopening, they told everybody, like all the pass holders, everybody has to enter through the main entrance. Like there's none of that, premium parking entrance in the back and stuff like that. And like they gave the reasons, like it's COVID, we need everybody to enter through the same entrance because we need to keep track and all that stuff. And all right, I get it. I understand. That is a valid reason, and I okay, I'm fine with that. But as I was walking down the hill, I saw people walking across the bridge from the England parking lot. What are they doing there? How do they? Why? Why are they coming from there? Like, did I miss the memo that now I can go back? Oh, no. That's VIP parking. You have to pay to go there, even if you're a platinum pass holder. So all of a sudden, they basically used the excuse of COVID to create a situation where they could now have another upcharge. Another upcharge in place.
Yeah.
And that right there, that's infuriating to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you use the pandemic as an excuse to start doing another upcharge, I mean, come on, you've been taking while not literally taking stuff away from like platinum pass holders, you've essentially been taken away, and now you actually are.
This would be
you actually are moving.
This would be the one almost benefit that we would get from, like, if they were like, okay, everybody else other than premium, other than platinum, you guys would have to pay. I'd be okay with that. If they're like platinum, you guys do get the VIP for free because we basically, they basically taken everything. The premium got upgraded to platinum pretty much. So they have every single thing that we have now at a lower rate. And then
they moved our preferred parking out, which the reason why they moved it away from England was because they needed everybody to enter through. But now all of a sudden, people can pay extra money, and now all of a sudden that people are paying extra money to go through that other entrance.
Now we can have you guys all coming through the same entrance.
Now it's not. Now it's not an issue. Now it's not.
Now you guys can enter through separate entrances because you guys are paying more. Yeah, I didn't really understand that situation. I saw you said something about parking, but I didn't really understand the situation until that, because I haven't been really paying attention to anything. I didn't see they sent that out about parking, but that is definitely not cool. I mean, right now it doesn't matter as much because we're parking in the front lot already, like that front lot that's right there. So you really get the same, like a VIP parking, like the
no. Let me tell you. Okay, listen. I'm 40 years old. That little walk up the hill to that parking lot.
Okay. All right. For you, it might be a little.
It's a big deal.
For you, it might be. Yeah.
I mean, yes. Okay. It's not. It's just that, and that's the whole thing. This isn't, in the scheme of things, this isn't that big of a deal. It's just stupid the way they're handling it. That's what irritates me. It just. I mean, they're literally taking stuff away, and the infuriating thing is that they literally used the excuse of the pandemic to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other problem is yes, we're okay. We have that front parking lot, but that parking lot's not. You got to remember that all of the, what's the next step down? Premier.
Premier's the next tier.
They all have the parking, the preferred parking for free as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just us. When we bought our passes, we paid a premium for that. But now they're including all of these other people in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely being handled very, very poorly. It's very
so now
it's
we all
aggravating.
have to fight over those.
Mm-hmm.
It's
aggravating. It's exacerbating for sure. It's just, I look at it as such a good opportunity to really connect with pass. This is a good time to really show your good side as a chain. Cedar Fair did a pretty good job handling it. Six Flags, they treated their pass holders good, and this is definitely the one isolated case where SeaWorld's just done the exact opposite almost, and has made the pass holders a little bit more enraged, it seems, because it's just not cool how they're handling it.
Yeah,
it was a pretty easy. This is such an easy solution too. Like, let's just upgrade premium. Let's just upgrade platinum a little bit more. Let's just give them a little bit more than everyone else. Like, it doesn't have to be this way. It could easily be like, oh, premium, we will upgrade you to platinum, and platinum, you're going to get to this whole new level that we've never even had before because we love you guys so much. Thank you for playing.
I mean, look, you already created the VIP, so why not just give your platinum pass holders VIP?
That's even easier. Yeah.
What I mean,
even if yeah.
It's just irritating, and it's such a nice. Like, the thing is I love their parks. Busch Gardens is such a beautiful park. It's a great park to attend.
It is.
I really like the park. I really like the park, but it's
all
so
of their parks
hard to balance
great,
this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
when they're just when you pay. I mean, it is $170 more than the next pass that I bought, and that's Cedar Fair. Like, I'm not getting $170. Like, I mean, I get paying more, but like, Cedar Fair treats their pass holders with what was expected. I mean, they don't go out of their way or anything, but like, they're not changing things on us. They're not saying, "Oh, hey, guess what, guess what, platinum pass holders? All of a sudden, this has changed, and now we're gonna let like everybody fight over those little, those perks that we gave you. Like, now everybody gets to fight over those.
Yeah.
Like, Cedar Fair's not doing that, but SeaWorld is, and that's what's. I mean,
but if they were so committed, so devoted to raising everyone up a tier, if that was really something they wanted to do, why not just create a tier for the people? Like, it seems weird to me that they're like, let's give everybody an upgrade except our absolute best and most expensive pass that people would. I mean, that seems like the one pass that you would like.
They essentially gave us a downgrade.
Yeah, because everyone else gets it now. It's.
And here's the other thing.
It's feeding the flames for sure.
They're making a big deal out of how they've given us the platinum pass holders 50% off merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
There's merchandise in the shops right now for like $50 some that the same exact item at Cedar Fair is like $30. So they're clearly marking up their merchandise more.
Some Cedar Fair merchandise is pretty. I mean, I know that there was a jacket in particular. I was looking at a Busch Gardens Williamsburg. That's like what is it? Like a North. I don't know if it's a North Face jacket. Either way, it's a very nice jacket. It's kind of a heavy coat. At Twisted Timbers, they have it. And it's really nice. And then that's like $100. And they have one at Busch Gardens that's like $70. So I was actually surprised to see that for such a cheap. I was considering buying it while I was there, but I was like, wow, I'm surprised that this at King's Dominion is $100 and something, and the Busch Gardens one is actually cheaper. I don't know. I think it fluctuates. I think some of their merchandise is more expensive and some isn't.
The coaster cutouts.
Okay.
All of the coaster cutouts are $34.99 at Cedar Point. They're all the Cedar Fair, like the Cedar Point shop. It's $34.99. At Busch Gardens, they're like 50 something.
I think they're like $39.99 because the one I got was like $40. Because I bought something else that was also $40 and I got half off, and the total was $40. They're only about.
Pam told me they were like somebody bought it. It was like $50 some.
She bought it when I was with me, I believe, and
Oh,
I got a shirt and a coaster cutout, and the total was $40, and I believe that was because the median average of both was 40, so they cut it in half. Because I remember going, "Oh, this is great! It's 40 and 40, and then it'll only be $40 instead of 80."
Okay, well then apparently my source was incorrect on that. Pam, I'll be speaking with you later.
I am pretty confident that was. I mean, I would have not. It was not. I can go look at the
No,
packaging.
Travis just said my Apollo's coaster cutout was $50.
All right,
and Timmy bought 2 cutouts that were $50 each.
Never mind. Then I did buy it, and I just didn't even. I just saw the $40 price tag on the final receipt, and I thought they were both 40. It must have been 50 and 30 then. The shirt must have been 30. So that was my bad. However,
yeah. So, but that's the thing. Like they're all of a sudden like these products are like that. That's just the point of what I'm saying. Like even the 50% that they're trying to like say, oh look, we're giving you 50%. It's not that big of a deal as they're making it out to be.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not grateful or anything like that. I mean, that's but like, I just they're playing these games and it's not. I just don't like it. I mean,
I don't know. I still think that in terms of pricing, they fluctuate because again, a similar jacket to the one at King's Dominion was much more expensive. So I think there are certain products that like the obviously the cutouts that are more expensive at SeaWorld. And I think maybe across the board, SeaWorld might have more expensive products overall, but I think it differentiates based on product.
I mean, SeaWorld's had the more expensive merchandise.
Yes, I agree with that overall. That way. Sure, but I think it does vary. I don't think it's like let's just raise everything up to screw our pass holders necessarily. Like let's raise the prices here.
No, and I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm saying that just saying that their 50% isn't like.
It sounded like to me that that big of a. Let's raise some of the prices so that the 50% doesn't matter. Really,
I'm not saying they're specifically raising their prices because of the 50% discount.
Okay, that's
not what I'm saying.
Okay, that's what I.
What I'm saying is it's not that big of a savings when you're comparing it to other parks that you don't need to have 50% off to save the same amount of money. You're looking at like coaster cutouts. The 20% that we get at Cedar Fair probably ends up being just as cheap, maybe even cheaper than the 50% off that we're getting.
The thing is with Busch as well in SeaWorld parks, their merchandise it's starting to get better, but it's never been that good. It's good now. I'd say it's okay, but it used to be pretty bad, and it's gotten better now, but. It has definitely always been overpriced for what you get. Cedar Fair easily has the best merchandise, I think, out of the chains. And probably just in terms of any park. I love Cedar Fair merchandise. So, if anything, I would be okay with paying more for the Cedar Fair products that are typically actually cheaper than the SeaWorld and Busch parks. I like Knoebels as well. They have good merch. I know you would cite them as probably the best. But I honestly, Cedar Fair and Knoebels probably are the two best for merch, and it's without a doubt some good merch at Cedar Fair parks.
But I want to make that clear. Like I've kind of like SeaWorld's really been improving in my eyes. I've kind of started seeing things a little bit in a different light, but I still, I mean, they still just.
If they could just
not treating their
if they could just hear us out on this one issue, I think it would really resolve a lot of strife for sure. But really quickly, before we get into some news, I do want to say Sunday, because I was going to get to that. We talked about the parking and the merch, but Sunday was awful. I know you would have left. I considered, it was pretty bad. I considered not leaving because of that, but there was overcrowding. There was no way that park was at 50% capacity, which is, I believe, still the limit right now. There's no way. No one there working at that park can tell me with a straight face that was 50% capacity. But there's no way. There were lines for rides. Every ride that Apollo Straight had a line into the circular queue building. I haven't seen that happen in years. Verbolten had an hour line. Griffin had a line outside the freaking outside of its queue. It was coming outside of the queue.
Wow.
Invader was it had the extended queue open, which hasn't happened since 2017. It was insane. And then on top of that, there were people walking around with no masks on, just no masks, just bare naked, not even like a mask under their chin, just like it was a normal day back in 2019 or 2020, like early 2020. It was crazy. Like it wasn't even like they were having around their ear or they were just like, screw this, I'm taking it off for a quick second. It was just full-fledged. And I understand why. No one could enforce it because there's a million people there. But there was no capacity limit. So I'm not like totally crazy. I know you would have left, definitely, for sure. I wasn't. I just, if we're going to enforce the rules, you gotta be across the board. You gotta be consistent.
Yeah.
And that was not consistency. That was awful. That was for lack of better words, a shit show. I mean, I can't put it anywhere. Excuse my French, I'm sorry, but that's how I described it on Twitter to BGW fans when they asked for some feedback on it. That was pretty crazy. And I mean, that literally was the most packed I've ever seen that park since like 2018 Hallow Scream.
Yeah, so I actually saw a lot of people talking about that.
It was awful.
And then what kind of got a little bit frustrating is I saw people like, that wasn't my experience on Saturday. You must be completely wrong. It's like, well,
I know, and I was like, I even said that I was there on Saturday. It wasn't that bad Saturday, but Sunday was a completely different story, which I was surprised about. I thought typically Saturdays seem to be more of a day for people to go to the parks because Sundays, you're getting ready for the week, so it's kind of like the day for me, at least in my experience, that is not as busy. But it was crazy. I was really upset with how overcrowded it was. Because I'm always like, yay, that's the one good thing about 50% capacity. I don't have to worry about lines. I don't have to worry about, crowds and the pathways getting in my way.
I imagine even without masks, there was probably no distancing or anything either.
Oh, no, there was none of that. I mean, Bob, you couldn't distance, even if you wanted to. Even if everyone in the entire park wanted to distance, it was just... I mean, I was walking through Fest Italia, like Battering Ram, that area, where those flat rides are over to... I was making my way over, like, Verbolten. I know you get confused with the layout of that park, but that's like right before you go to that.
I have it now.
Okay.
I understand it now.
Right when you're passing Festa Italia, you're passing by Battering Ram, passing by Da Vinci's Cradle. I swear to God, I could not. It was like I could not move. It was like I was like at a concert or something when you're like crowded by everybody around you, and like I couldn't. I was just having to like walk it like so slowly just to try to get. I gotta go with the crowd. It was awful. I felt like I had to crowd surf if I wanted to get through there any faster. It was, it was bad, and it disappointed me because I brought my cousin with me, and it was his first time at the parks in a long time, and I was telling him, oh, there's not going to be that many people there. There's going to be no lines. There's going to be people distancing. It's going to be a nice little relaxing day at this park, and it was crazy. I mean, I could not. It was crazy. So yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
You can take your Travis in the chat just said you can take he takes his mask down if you want to readjust it. That's not what was happening though. They were just people not even a mask on their face, and that's not cool, especially when the parks are saying you need to wear it. That creates an issue for everybody that wants to go. If a park's saying that you need to wear your mask, you need to wear your mask. So yeah, readjusting it's a completely different story, but that's not what was transpiring. It was just blatant, take it off, put it in my knapsack or put it in my pocket and just walk throughout the park without a mask on. And it was
I wonder if they even entered the park without a mask and like nobody said anything.
No, I doubt that.
Just makes me wonder.
No, I don't think that was what happened, but I think it is easily just we enter the park and it's so crowded that there's nobody here that can really monitor. I mean, even if there was an employee, there's no way they would catch everybody. So it was bad. I mean, once you got on the rides and stuff, people were wearing masks because obviously there's employees there that are telling you to. But through pathways, which is where it's probably the most important to wear a mask. I mean, on the rides, you have the airflow and everything. It's not nearly as bad. It was crazy. That was easily one of the craziest experiences I've ever had at a park. And it was sad to see that because, again, I had created this expectation for a family member of mine that it was going to be a nice, relaxing day, and I was expecting it to be. I mean, it's supposed to be. That's kind of the atmosphere we're supposed to have at parks right now. It's supposed to be kind of relaxed and distanced and smooth sailing. It's not supposed to be these crazy havoc locations right now, and it was. And it was really absurd. But let's move on to some news. I think we've hit it on the head pretty hard. Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Um, 20 minutes.
Clean up your ad.
Yeah. We're talking about rabbit trails, right? There we go with one right there. I thought a quick little Busch Gardens update, and 20 minutes later, the new Conneaut Lake
At
Park owner is saying
Yes.
that he's going to have to make some changes to the park. And not only that,
Which we saw.
Yeah, we saw that. We talked about that last
Mm.
week. But not only that is that they might not operate one of the major attractions at the park, Blue Streak, which is one of Bob's favorite roller coasters.
Yeah, there's quite a few things that are a little bit. I mean, I'm not writing this park off by any shot.
You done,
This
kid.
guy, I think this guy has some interest in this, but there are a couple quotes that out of this article that this was in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. There are just some things that I don't really like. He basically said that they're not really intending on operating Blue Streak this year. They said they're looking to get a structural engineer in. But this is kind of a, I mean, the coaster's been operating. I don't like I
don't know.
I don't understand this.
This guy is coming from kind of a corporate mindset, though, so it might be kind of a risk because this is a coaster that wasn't it refurbished by enthusiasts?
There you go. You just hit the net. You just hit what scares me.
Well, it's true, but I think there's a good and bad from that aspect, though. I mean, he wants to make sure it's safe and it's structurally sound.
But okay, yes, but this guy's making a big deal out of this. I mean, it's been inspected multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he's looking. I don't know. It just seems like he's.
There might be something more to it. He might have a grudge to say, but he might have a reason to.
And I will
want to remove it, or maybe to find it.
We are going to put the Blue Streak on the back burner to get some structural engineers to see what we are dealing with, he said, leaving open the possibility that the coaster might be used in the future.
Yeah. So that quote there is where I was saying that he might have, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a better word, but like a reason, a stance that ride needs to be removed, which isn't good. But also it could just be...
there's no, you can't, if you get rid of Blue Streak, just close the park. It is the park.
Sure, I mean, but think about, he might be wanting to implement new rides and new roller coasters. It might not.
I don't care.
For you, it might, and for many people that.
See, okay, but nobody's gonna go to the people that go to Conneaut Lake are the people that have history with it.
But I think that's what that seems to be to me. That seems what he wants to change.
You're looking at basically this guy may want to do to Conneaut what Palace is doing to Kennywood before there's even really much of a park established.
I'm saying that I think as you stated before, it's kind of a local thing. It's not a large scale park. Not a lot of people outside of the area know too much about it. You know, the general area, like down in Pittsburgh, might know about it. But it seems, in my opinion, and I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. I'm just saying it seems that his mindset is, let's change that. Let's make this a destination kind of place that everyone knows about. So he in his mindset, it might be, let's remove this old rickety, not structurally sound, quote unquote, if they do it and they say, and the structural engineer goes, oh, it's not structurally sound, which he might, because who knows, he might just even say, hey, can you just say it's not structurally sound, even though it is? Can you just maybe make it sound like it shouldn't operate? Which is very possible. You never know with businessmen. Sometimes they do shady things like that. But and then let's implement a new ride and let's get the newer generations and other people outside of the area to come. I'm just saying that might be his intent. I'm not saying that's right or wrong.
But that's not Conneaut Lake. Screw it. Just bulldoze the park because there's nothing.
Maybe he does it. Maybe.
So none of this. I mean, just listening to you talk right there, now I'm scared. Now I'm actually scared for this park.
I'm thinking that might be what he's thinking. I'm not saying that that's I would do that
And
if it was my park.
if that is, then you might as well just write this park off now.
Okay,
Because
that's fair. That's your
if you get
take,
rid of
for
Blue
sure.
Streak, Conneaut Lake is gone. That's it. I mean,
I don't disagree. That's how I've always heard of this park. I mean, that's literally, Blue Streak? Oh, the one at Cedar Point? No, the one at Conneaut Lake Park. Oh, okay. That's the only reason I've heard of this park is because of it. So I understand it's a staple attraction. And I'm not, again, this isn't me advocating or hoping that this is his mindset. I'm just thinking that might be where he's coming from, possibly. It might be also that he's just like, let's check it out. It might be a potential ride for us. He might be saying that just in case. What was that?
Here's the other thing. This is the other thing that let me find out.
But okay, really quickly, I'll hit on the word. He might be saying potentially, just in case. Maybe he's afraid that there might be something wrong with it. Actually, which I know you said that they've tested it before, and that's for sure.
And you fix it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's the problem.
But that might be his problem.
It sounds like
he might not be up for doing that. So.
But that's we're already seeing that because some of the buildings he's tearing down are actually the game buildings on the Midway, like part of the history of the park. Like I understand there's buildings that need tore down, but then there's a certain aspect of buildings that like no, these are part of Conneaut Lake. You modify these, you improve them, you fix them. You don't tear these ones down. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the Midway is like that's part of the park. That's Conneaut. And you don't just like go, well, we're just tearing them down, which they've already done. They're already marked for bolt. Like I don't know if they've actually been. They are at least
got the big X's on them. Yeah. And, I mean, I think that might. I'm not trying to scare you at all, but I think that seems to be some of the stance. I mean, again, there's a quote directly from him. He says, "I never been to the park. I always thought it was so run down. I never wanted to go." That's a quote.
That's exactly what I was going to. That's exactly what I was looking for to read to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he will not. He's never been to the park. He never. So your comment, last week you made some comments and it started sounding like, well, maybe this is like a Gene Staples thing. No, this is not a Gene Staples thing.
It seemed the way he was talking before was like, oh, we're just gonna improve.
But he's never been to the park.
Now
it sounds like
now
he absolutely has no ties to this park.
Yeah, the way he was phrasing it before was I from the area, and it sounded like, oh, maybe he's visited the park. Maybe this is something that means something to him. But the way it's almost like he avoided the park. Nah, it's run down. Now I'm gonna buy it and make it how I want it, make it better. I don't know. I don't want to put words in this guy's mouth. I don't want to make him out to be this person that he might not be. He very well could just be testing the ride structurally, and it gets a check, and then he's like, all right, let's reopen it. Or it gets an X, and he's like, all right, let's work on it. And then he said potentially just in case, there's a little bit more of a delay. I don't know. I don't want to make him out to be this guy that he might not be.
Gloria Novak is a performance audit manager for the city of Pittsburgh. And she said a couple things. She said, it's totally unwise to rip down those old buildings when you can remodel and support them. It just takes more money. If he didn't have that kind of money to save the park, he had no business buying the park. Every time you take an old building down, you lose a part of history.
Mm-hmm. But that being said, would you guys honestly rather it have been just used and bulldozed and built housing development around that area?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're going to build a park from the ground up, you could have built that anywhere.
No, but I don't think what's the buildings? I understand they're historical buildings, and that's
James. What's he saving?
He's not tearing down every single building, is he? If he's tearing down every single building,
sounding like it.
If he's tearing down every single building, that's another story.
You were talking as somebody that has never been there. There's not much to that park.
You never been there?
Huh?
You said you're talking to someone who's never been there. I think you meant me.
No, I said you're talking as somebody that's never been there.
I thought you said you're talking to somebody who's never been there. No, I haven't. I thought you said you... Okay, never mind. Doesn't matter. But I understand I haven't been there. That's fair. And I understand that doesn't consist of that many buildings or structures or whatever. If he's tearing down every single one of them, sure. But I thought it was just a few that were being demolished. That's another story. If he's tearing down everything... then we can.
I mean, it's the Midway. I mean, the Midway is it.
That's everything. He's
There's,
demolishing the Midway.
I mean, pretty much, yes.
All right. If that's what's happening,
Everything that was consistent of the park. I mean, yes, there were some other buildings around, and those are fine. Tear those. I mean, there's definitely some buildings around there that you can tear
Bring them
down. But like, you're tearing down. Like, not that I'm advocating. Oh yeah, bulldoze that. But like, when you're getting to the Midway, I mean, they were operating when they still operated as games. So obviously, they're not so far gone that they have to be torn down. It's just that he doesn't want, like, what he sees as blight. That's what's scaring me. What he sees as blight is actually history. And I think he's kind of like, I'm not saying that there's not blight at Conneaut Lake. I'm not saying that, because there is. And there is definitely room for improvement on that front. But he is basically, it's in this article, and I don't know where. It's really weird, because like the interviews that I read I saw in the Meadville Tribune seemed very, very different than what this one in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is. So
yeah,
I'm confused. I'm confused on why these are so different.
Why they're so contrasting.
But I'm really concerned about a blue streak.
If he's really tearing down every building on the Midway, then that's different than what I've heard, and then it does become a different story. And I would agree with you that is absurd, and that is definitely not cool. Because like you said, why not choose another property to do that, to build a new park ground up? I was under the impression it was just a few buildings. Like in the article that we read last week, I thought it said a few buildings that were outdated are coming down. That was my impression.
Like, I'm okay with that.
That's exactly, and that's what I thought was happening. So if that's not what's happening,
this is the quote. What we are trying to do is get rid of all the blight, he said. That includes old houses, the buildings in the Midway. They all have to come down. A lot of the old trees, a lot of the asphalt. It's a long list for sure.
Yeah, that's a different stance than what I had originally believed he was taking. So,
but see, then it goes on to say, and this isn't a direct quote, but it says, untouched, he said, will be the park's water park, carousel, Blue Streak, roller coaster, Devil's Den, and Kittyland. But then he goes to say that it's back burner, and there's the possibility it might be used in the future. So
I don't know. I think the possibility thing might just be, that just kind of seems like a lot of times business personnel use words like we've said with SeaWorld and everything, like the potential. What is it? What are they using now? Anticipating the opening. It might just be like a phrase that's, well, he doesn't want to either confirm nor deny whether, like, he doesn't want to say one way or another, just in case something might happen. Even if there's a 1% chance of something happening where he has to alter it or get rid of it or whatever, it might just be something like that, where it's like, there's no way he's going to do it, but just in case, I want to make sure I say that we possibly might use it. I don't want to say 100% we're using it. I don't know. It just might be something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm not really at my core. I'm not like, oh my God, this is the end of Conneaut. Write it off. I'm done. But my curiosity is
spiking.
Is kind of like, wait, yeah. I'm like, wait, what? I don't get it. This doesn't. Yeah, this doesn't.
It doesn't match with what we've heard before. I don't know. It is strange. It seems like we're talking about a different guy. Like somebody else came in and took over this guy's body or something, and it doesn't seem the same attitude that he had before. It seemed before it was, oh, I've been in the area. This park means a lot, and now it's like, now I want to destroy it all and rip it from the ground.
This is another thing. He said, it's been status quo for how many years? The status quo didn't work. Well, okay. I'm never going to advocate for status quo. But here's the thing. He's saying that it didn't work, but he's leaving out the fact that the last few years of Conneaut Lake's history have been really bouncing back in big ways. I mean, things have actually been coming back. I mean, it's like they've actually been profitable. I mean, this park that has been in bankruptcy for like what 20 years,
They've been making revenue
a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually making revenue. They were paying off the debt. So you can't just say that nothing worked. I mean, the trustees obviously they were going in the right direction. So you can't just discount all of that. And I hope, I don't know. I hope it's more of what we were reading before.
I mean, I'm not against the idea of revitalizing the park, but yeah, you got to do it in better ways than just completely diminishing all of the history that exists in the park.
Without, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
There's for example,
plenty of land to work with.
Yeah. For example, there's a really old building down the street that it used to be like an old school down the street near my house, and they wanted to completely bulldoze it and make an office complex, and people advocated, no, we don't want it to be that. So what they've done is actually like half of it did get the axe kind of, but half of it still like the actual main part of it, the beautiful historical piece of it that really, I mean, it looks like an old school really. The other piece was just kind of a brick building that didn't really match. So they got rid of that part, and that's the office complex, but then they have the actual old building, and that still exists, and they just kind of revitalized the inside and made it look nicer. And that's something they could have done with these older buildings is, sure, you don't want it to be old and outdated interior, so get that out and let's do some remodeling and let's make it look better and more modern and more visibly attractive, but keep the structure, keep the historical parts of it. That's something you can do, and I hope that I hope they do that more than just get the axe to all these.
This article makes it sound like that's not
like all hell's about to break loose almost. Yeah.
I mean, well, and see, that's the thing. If he was going to do this, he probably should have done this a few years ago, because now people have come to start loving Conneaut again, and it's not like
where was he at when they filed for bankruptcy and stuff?
Well, I go to Coaster Bash almost every year, and Conneaut Lake does a presentation there, and you should have, like, just the way they progressed is spectacular. But the last Coaster Bash, the thing that was said was, we finally got the locals. He said up until that point, people were starting to come from like the Pittsburgh area mainly. People were starting to visit again and like really get behind the park. But he said in that last year, which would have been, I guess it would have been the 2019 year. The presentation was in early 2020. But like he said, the thing that happened in that year most of all is all of the locals now were behind the park. So that's the thing. If they, I mean, he might have a fight. He might have a fight on his hand if he, wants to start.
And that might be good. That might be good in the sense of it might be kind of an awakening for him. Oh, crap, I didn't realize how important and how vocal the locals are, if that happens, hopefully. Because then he might kind of snap into place. Oh, crap, I didn't realize that. Now I need to make sure that I'm balancing the new and the innovative and the historical and that aspect of the park. So that might be good. Sadly, though, as we talk about investors and all of this, now it's getting me almost worrisome, because we're going to be talking about another investor group that plans to bid an auction with the hopes of restoring Clementine Park, which is a park that it's pretty much been shut down. This is where we talked a couple weeks ago. What was it? What is the coaster there? Hellcat, right? That's Hellcat. I think we talked about that and had a potential of being removed or taken down. So now I'm kind of like, maybe the investors aren't always the greatest, even if they seem to have the greatest plans set forth. I don't know, but either way, it's good to see that it might still stand as a park. That as much as it might be sad to see some historical aspects, I know this is an old park too. I think it's over 100 years old. We might see some of the historical things go away and diminish.
Yeah,
It is good to see at least that it might still be a park, at least, right?
I mean, yeah, you kind of always want to see things preserved. But you have to keep some of the history there.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm worried, like, oh, maybe these investors won't do that either. But you can't
1907.
assume that with every single investor. Yeah, it's 115 years old, which is that's incredible. It's a 52-acre amusement park, and it will be sold at auction on March 23rd, so next week, or actually March 21st. It's March 21st. We do that assumption, right? Because we record on Thursday nights, but in real time that it's March 21st when we release this episode. So actually, it'll be next Tuesday, I guess, right? Next Tuesday is when this auction will be. So if you're listening to this past the 23rd, the Tuesday of March, then it'll have already been up for a bid and you'll know the outcome. But right now, it seems like there's, I think, 6 or 7 investors interested. But the Fresh Development LLC company is trying to raise $7 million. And if that bid goes through and is successful, they plan to reopen Clementine Park in time for the summer season, which is great to hear.
Yeah, that would be. Hopefully, that includes reviving Hellcat.
Yeah, I would hope so. I think it's still there as of now. It's standing but not operating, but it is still there, so that's good. It hasn't been removed quite yet. And that's great because I've heard I've heard different things about it, but it looks like a pretty good ride. It's so visually pleasing. I love the CCI wooden. Is it CCI? I think it's a CCI.
This is an SNS.
Oh yes, we had this discussion because we reverse roles because I think you thought it was a CCI the last time we did it. It looks like a CCI. SNS pretty much copy and pasted there, but it's a beautiful ride nonetheless. I love it. It looks really good. I don't know if it's a great ride or not. I've heard some differentiating opinions on that, but nonetheless, we'll revitalize a good old wooden coaster.
Yep, we can hope for the best there.
Mm-hmm. One wooden roller coaster that wasn't revitalized was Dollywood's Lightning Rod. It is no longer wooden. It's kind of in the middle now. It's been retracted. I think like about half of the ride has been retracted in steel, and
yep.
That is a big news story out of Dollywood, not only because of that fact that it's been retracted with steel, but because opening day it had the same issue that it's been having all along. It rolled back, which is incredible.
And this is kind of like a bulk. I mean, everything. I think the problem with this is when anything goes wrong on Lightning Rod, it exhibits a visual rollback because no matter what happens, if the computer senses a problem, it shuts down and that causes a rollback. So you can't, and this was something that was an ongoing thing is everybody was like, oh, the launch is having issues. The launch is having issues because it's always rolling back. That's not the case. Yes, the launch could be having issues, but there's so many other things that just when you see it not succeed in launching, that doesn't mean that the launch failed. That just means that the computer shut the ride down.
Yeah.
And gravity took its course and it rolled back. I mean, that's what a rollback is gravity doing its job before it's supposed to. So, of course, we don't know what the issues are again. All we know is that it had many hiccups.
Yeah, we don't know the exact issue, but it underwent the same visual meltdown that we've seen with the rollback. So
now I
for
did
sure
hear
it's not
that
exact. We don't know the exact.
It was
reason
overshooting the brakes. I did hear that.
All right.
So some speculation time.
All right.
We might actually be looking at something similar to what Twisted Timbers experienced in its opening year,
Oh yeah, because it
where
overshot.
it just kept overshooting the brakes. Now I don't know if that's everything or every time, if every error was a result of that. Um, but people have been saying, "Oh, well, it looks like such a like when it was working, it's the launch is so much slower. The launch is so much slower." And it seems to be the case, but many people that have actually wrote it said, well, even though the launch is slower, by the time it gets to the end, you're actually going a lot faster. It feels like it's going a lot faster than what it used to. So I think some of what might be happening is because they switched from wood to steel,
Yes, the steel is
there's less
allowing.
friction,
Hmm.
and because of less friction, the ride is maintaining its speed much longer, and that's why we're seeing the launch slow down. But maybe it's just an issue
Yeah,
of, they did all the testing, but it's hard to test when you have varying weight in the train. Like you could fill up the water dummies, but you don't have like every single train is a different weight distribution like you do when you're operating. So that may be what we're looking at, is them just having to get that speed at the correct speed of the launch
yeah,
in order to have it so that the brakes safely work and everything. So we
yeah,
may just be looking at something like that, and that's kind of expected. That's a typical opening day jitter thing.
yeah. And I like that theory
You'll
with
have
the friction, possibly. I mean, because that's very true. Um, there's less resistance there with the wheels and the steel track as opposed to the wheels in the wood track. So it's very possible that that is what's playing into this problem, this issue with the overshooting. That's an interesting theory. I like that. I hadn't actually thought about that, but now you put it into terms like that, actually, if that is the issue, if that is what's happening, that makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah, I have nothing to
Um,
really back that up other than just kind of piecing together things that I've seen in comments that I've
yeah,
heard from
sure,
people
sure.
and things like that. But
It is theory.
I
This is
think it is
theory.
something
This is
that
theory
fits, and
talk. Theory talk
yeah,
podcast for right now.
yeah. But
Stand by.
I think it fits. I think it fits.
Yeah, I think if that is the issue, that makes sense. It definitely is logical and rational and believable. Um, but yes, lightning rod having issues. Seems people that have ridden it have said it's providing a great experience still. Though it's still a good old lightning rod. People were worried that it would completely ruin the ride experience, and it does not seem. Which doesn't make sense to me, really. I don't know why people were so afraid of it being ruined. I mean, I didn't get that, but there were some people that were like, "Oh, it's going to be completely different. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same lightning rod." Sure, the steel's going to change it in a way that it might not ride the same as a wooden coaster traditionally does, and obviously that's going to happen because it's smoother and um, but I didn't see people like, "Oh, it's going to ruin the ride completely. Like it's not going to be the same ride." That didn't make much sense to me. But as we see it, that's not what really was the case, and it seems to be still a hit for everybody. Everybody that's
And
really likes it.
I think that I kind of want to say too that there's things that things have come up that I don't want to see major changes done to a lot of older wooden coasters. Lightning Rod isn't an older wooden coaster.
And sure, and it already kind of that's my
So,
point too. It already kind of ran like a steel coaster, so to speak.
right.
So when
Yeah.
you change it from wood to steel, I didn't see there being that big of a difference. As opposed to if you do that to Rebel Yell at King's Dominion or something, or Grizzly or whatever, or any other old wooden coaster, you're gonna notice it very, very, very easily. That's a completely different
Right.
story. So that's why I didn't see there being a big issue with Lightning Rod. I don't think that's the same
Right.
case for every
Yeah. I
wooden
don't.
coaster. Yeah.
Now, this does like Dollywood. It seems like Dollywood knows this and respects this, but they can no longer say that they have the only launched wooden roller coaster because they don't.
Or the fastest wooden roller
Um,
coaster. The fastest wooden roller coaster is now El Toro
yeah,
again. It's now El Toro again, right? I think that's the fastest one. Oh no, is it T Express? It might
I'm
be T
actually not sure.
Express. I think it's T Express actually. I don't remember now. I know El Toro's the tallest now.
I will
I
look
get
it
these
up.
facts mixed up all the time. It annoys me. Let's see. Fastest wooden roller coaster.
Fastest is Goliath at Six Flags Great America, 72 miles an hour.
I like how they have it changed on
Wildfire.
Wikipedia already. Yeah.
Well, actually, they have it changed on. Oh, actually, now I got to see what RCDB classifies it as because it's not. Anyway, second is Wildfire.
Yeah,
Third
El
is
Toro.
El Toro.
Then Goliath. Yeah. The
No,
longest
Goliath
wooden.
is first.
No, Goliath is the longest wooden roller coaster.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about speed.
I was.
No, the longest wooden coaster is Beast.
Wait, no, sorry. I'm looking at the tallest. Never mind. Let's not get into this. We're gonna start pulling the trial of the elements thing again. Oh man, longest wooden roller coaster drops. Sorry, that's what I was looking at.
And here's some big news. RCDB now officially has Lightning Rod classified as a still wooden coaster. I'm sorry, still roller coaster.
I was about to say, wait,
but it's still,
wait a second.
but it's still, but the model is still Topper Track Custom.
Oh man, that was great. It is a steel wooden roller coaster.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. For a second, I actually was gonna go along with that, and I was like, wait, hold up. Yeah. All right. So fastest is now Goliath. I thought T Express had something. I thought T Express had something near there, near the top. But I guess not. I guess I was wrong in assuming
T
that.
Express is the 10th fastest.
Yeah, I see. It's the 10th. I thought it was. Oh, it's the third longest. That's what it is. So it's very long. So, it doesn't have anything. But Lightning Rod wasn't that long, so it actually was never even in that list. So it doesn't matter. It didn't change at all. All right. Well, that is about it for the Dollywood news story. We're going to head on back over to California. I know we've hit this nail on the head quite a few times with talking about California reopening, but one more time because the parks have they've kind of announced at this point, we're probably not going to need to talk about it again because
they'll do something.
They'll do something dumb, yeah. Well, we now know that you have to be a resident for sure. I know Bob and me were kind of disputing that last week, like what they were going to do and how that was going to happen. You do have to be a resident.
I wasn't disputing that.
I said we were disputing it. We didn't really know what was happening. Neither of us really. We were like, California resident, you're going to have to show an ID. It seems to me that in a reply to a tweet, Six Flags Magic Mountain stated, when you're reserving and buying tickets, you will not be allowed to buy it if you're out of state. So somehow they'll have some authorization to show that you're a in-state resident. Then they also, Bob said,
has to do with billing address.
Yeah, billing address might be, that probably is it. I don't know if they'll need anything else. And then actually Bob said, I don't know, you said that you saw that you'll actually have to show your ID at the front gate as well?
Yeah, I forget where I read it, but yes, Six Flags was saying that, well, I think it said you may have to present your ID at the entrance.
Yeah, maybe if it's questionable. I don't know. Maybe if they have... Maybe it'll be random too. Maybe just to make sure. I don't know how they'll do it. Maybe it's like a drug test. Like, just random people.
Just to discourage you from trying.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, that's what Six Flags Magic Mountain and Six Flags Discovery Kingdom also will be. They have announced April 1st will be their opening date. So Disneyland, we talked about last week, opening late April. I think it's April 30th as they've announced, and the Six Flags parks will open the 1st of April though.
There is something that says about tracking your location too.
Yes, I did see that.
I have a feeling that might just be GOIP, which is in layman's terms is basically based on your internet service provider. So if your provider, the IP address that you're assigned is kind of like located in a geographic database that says you're roughly in this area. Doesn't really say like, oh, you're on this street or these GPS coordinates, but it
might not be the Cedar Fair app trying to access your location.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it might be. It might also be. I don't know. We'll see. Right? It might be like
oftentimes that's usually what's used in in kind of these restrictions things, because there's like there's a service locast.org that like you can actually get your local television channels streamed
Yep.
But you have to
Yeah.
be in the geo IP range. So like if you're outside of that geographical area, you can't view the local stations for that area.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, it's not really tracking your location. It's just kind of like a more based on your ISP.
The good thing is also kind of getting off of that a little bit. Sorry. um,
A rabbit trail?
yeah. The good thing is every single park in California is now in the red tier, which means that they can open up at least 15% capacity. So if you have any worry about, oh, is my park going to open up? Is this park going to open up? Every park has the option to open up now. Now it's just a question of when, where, how, who. um,
Could you imagine around this area, well, maybe not so much yours, but like more my area? Could you imagine like if they did a state restriction? Do you know how many states like
Yeah.
are like right next to
Yeah.
like the whole DC metro area
Yeah.
consists of 3 states immediately. And like I'm in West Virginia and still kind of consider, I mean, DC is my local television station. So like I'm still extended DC metro area and like I'm another state.
Yeah, that would
There's
that
that's
wouldn't
like
be that.
5 or 6 states.
I don't think they would ever do anything, Jack. They would say
No,
if you're outside
never.
of these 3 states, please don't come to the park. Because I think we talked about like way back when the started, Six Flags America, what they would do in terms of restricting people. And I think we even talked about possibly them just saying, D.C., Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia are all that are allowed in right now. I think we discussed the possibility of them doing that. So I think they'd do something like that.
I actually do think Pennsylvania, for a while, Pennsylvania had travel restrictions, and
Yeah.
I believe Virginia. It was basically all of the bordering states to Pennsylvania were not restricted. The only exception was Virginia, because Virginia was so close, but yet not bordering.
Yeah.
Because of the way the whole.
And then New York, I know
DC.
for a while, like there was like 15 states that they listed off that you couldn't come from. Because when I went, we had to like make sure that that wasn't the case, that we were allowed in from Virginia. Yeah. So yeah, there's been a lot of that, but it is strange to me that California is. I mean, I understand somewhat the logic behind only allowing California residents, and that's probably enough and sufficient to start making revenue again, obviously. But
you just California is such a big state, though, too.
It is. It is. Sure, and I mean they have a large economy that. But I feel like a lot of it relies on out-of-state tourism too. So we'll see. I don't know. It won't be long. I don't think until their parks are allowed to have out-of-state guests. I don't know. I also said that California wouldn't be long until they reopen, but here we are. We'll see. I don't know. I don't want to make that statement, but I don't feel like it'll be as long as a wait to see out of state. I think it's just going to be maybe a month or two of let's see how this goes kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But that's just my take on it.
So another interesting bit of news that's come out is Cedar Point has released information regarding their early entry.
Indeed.
This is for their guests and their platinum pass holders.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 different benefits. There's early entry, which is an exclusive benefit for Cedar Point Resort guests and platinum pass holders only. It gives you access to the park 1 hour before the posted public opening time, 9 a.m. on most days.
Mm-hmm.
Up to 24 hours. Up to 24 rides are available for you to enjoy. Golden entry is a benefit for Cedar Point Gold pass holders. It gives you access to a select section of the park 1/2 hour before the posted public opening time, 9:30 a.m. on most days, and 19 rides are available for the Gold pass holders.
Yeah, and looking at that list, I would be upgrading to Platinum Pass.
Yeah, so now what this means is you have to have your pass with you because you're going to need it to get on certain rides during the early entry time.
Yeah, because the golden pass holders could be walking back to the back, thinking they're going to get on Steel Vengeance, and no, you're not a golden pass holder. You need to be at the front of the park.
Yeah, Well, vengeance is only going to be applicable on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
That's another thing of note.
And is
So on
that
weekdays, still vengeance will not
yeah, on
be part of
weekdays it
that.
won't be. Yeah. So
Now, here's the big
yeah.
thing, James. I know
Yeah.
this is going to get you fired up. Also new this year, due to the popularity of some attractions, ride lines may close prior to park closing time in order to accommodate riders within park operating hours. We want to ensure that our team is ready to have these attractions up and running for everyone the next operating day.
Yes. And
So,
that is I don't know, I don't know, disappointing is the right word. It's not. I understand where they're coming from with that logic. I just need a better explanation of what that entails and how they'll be doing that. I mean, is it gonna be 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours?
it's going to depend on how many people are in line.
Closing a line, if they start doing it an hour or 2 hours long, though, that is where it starts to get insane and ridiculous. Kind of. I don't care how many people are in line. The point is, you're allowed to wait in line. You're supposed to be able to wait in the line until the park closes. If you need to close it 15, 20 minutes early, okay. I mean, I'm still irritated to a degree, but
I've never really. I don't know. I don't have the same view as you, and I think maybe it's because somehow like people got changed. Like I don't know. I've always saw park hours as like when the park closes, the park closes. And if you're not on the ride, you're not on the ride. End of story. Like the ride shuts down. And that's why I always saw
that's never how it's happened.
Parks actually closing their lines early is actually a benefit so that you don't get stuck in that situation where you've waited in line for a half hour and they're going to close the ride in front of you.
That's never happened, though. Every time what parks do is they keep the line open however long they do. And then what they do is they filter everyone through that's already in line, even if it's past closing. So,
but see, that was always traditionally the way things were done.
All right, I don't know if in the 40s when you were a young boy, that's how it was done, but the way we talk about it, sometimes it seems like we're in two different worlds here in the 40s or something, but I don't know if that's how it was done back in the old days, but in my experience at parks, it's always, I mean, and I've been going to parks for, I mean, my entire life, so I have some experience, 18 years, somewhat experience there.
I have.
That's how it's always been. Okay, sure, whatever. Okay, but the past 20 years at least that I've been going, that's how it's been done. And I don't know. I just don't. I feel like that's cheapening a little bit. Like if you're gonna do that, just state, all right, ride closing time is 9:30, and that's when we close it. I'd rather it be like that than to be having to guess and go, oh, if I walk over here and this ride's not open, then I have to go over here and then this and here and there.
If that's the case, if they say, okay, Still Vengeance's line closes at 9:30 p.m. and then it's like 10 until 10, which is 10 o'clock is the park closing time, and nobody's riding, like nobody's in line, like the ride's totally shut down.
No.
I totally would see you going, oh, see, you could have put 10 more minutes worth of riders in there.
No. I'm saying it's 9. If it's a packed park and they need to close the rides down, 9:30 should be the time. Now, if it's dead and there's no one at the park, sure, keep it up until 10 or whenever you feel. I'd say 10. Let's just say 10.
So what you're saying is change the time based on how many people are in the park, which is exactly what they're going to be doing.
That's not what they're doing. What they're doing here is that.
What do you mean? That's exactly what they're doing.
It's what they're doing, but it's not stated that way. It's going to be like arbitrary times. It could be 9 o'clock. It could be 8:50. If we're talking about a closing time at 10.
Based on how busy it is and like how.
I don't think it should be based on that though. It should be based on because you can't closing a line 2 hours an hour early is insane. That's cheapening. Anyone that paid money to get in that park is like, what the heck? I paid for a 10-hour experience and I'm only getting, half the rides are closed now. And I still have an hour left to be riding rides. I'm supposed to be. I mean, you're the one that advocates for treating your pass holders and your ticket holders respectably. That's totally disrespectful, I think, to just close rides. If we're talking about 30 minutes, that's where it starts to get, I think, okay, they want to get this is packed and they're trying to get people out. Okay, that's fair. If it starts to get to an hour, 2 hours, that's cheapening the value of the ticket, and I would be upset if I was somebody that paid for my tickets and was like, "Hey, I wanted a 10-hour
Here's
experience
the problem. I think the value of Cedar Point's tickets are cheapened anyway because the lines are always like 2 hours, 3 hours. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Okay,
in
well, that's a
itself.
different story. Sure, we can talk about that on a different account, but
I mean, you can't just like I can't retroactively hold that against them twice. It's like a lesser included offense.
you can do it. It's a misdemeanor. I mean, it is. I mean, sure, the ticket prices are already crazy for what you get, but why add on to that with this policy where they could justify, well, we need to close the ride 3 hours early. It's a long line, and we want to make sure that everyone's out of there by closing time.
But
Bob, but that's what I'm saying. You don't know that. Them saying that if they stated we're going to do it only 30 minutes or an hour, whatever, they need to make that's all I'm saying is they need to make some sort of clarification as to what extent this goes, how long they're going to be closing the lines off for, or what times. That's all I'm not saying they can't do it, and it's like they can't implement this policy, but they need to let us know. Because if I'm at the park and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go ride Steel Vengeance, I still have an hour left in the park, and I walk over there, sorry, the ride's closed, and I'm like, oh, Maverick, nope, Maverick's closed. I mean, it's going to be like what you had opening day experience where you just walked around, the whole park's closed, and that upsets. I mean, that's going to upset a lot of people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if say there's a breakdown and they have a long queue, like are you saying that, oh no, they have to just pay overtime to all those employees to stay open to run the ride 3 hours after close?
That's not really the same topic, in my opinion. If there's a breakdown, that's a different story. That's where you can go. Sorry, the ride's broken.
That's why they're saying this, and they're saying may like.
But they're saying it.
It's not only because we've had this before. Wait, hold up. When you've complained about this before, your complaint has been they never said that they would ever close lines early. Well, now they're telling you it might happen.
They are saying
now
you've been
warned.
Okay, that's not really. If you wanted me at that point, I would have said the same thing I'm saying now, though. If you had asked me for further explanation as to what I would like implemented, I would have said I would like them to tell me 9:30 they'll be closing the rides early. But I didn't necessarily say that because I was just when we were at Six Flags America, for example, I just said, "Dang it, they're closing the rides early." They never said they would do that. But if you'd said, "What would you like them to do, James?" I would have said 9:30 would be a great time if they just say we're closing the ride 30 minutes early. And you know what? Six Flags America didn't do it because of that. Six Flags America did it because their employees wanted to leave and get home early. That's 100% what that was. Because they didn't even close it. It was like 9:45 or whatever, and there were still people walking up, and he was like, "Go away, please, turn around." And then other rides were even open. We rode like Roar and something else at the end of the night there anyway. So
how did this turn into a hate on Six Flags America?
That wasn't a hate on. That was a hate on one employee that wanted to leave early. I know that was what that was. That's fine. I mean, I
wasn't even.
That's happened at Cedar Fair Parks too.
America. You had that same. I've heard you make that same argument at King's Dominion.
King's Dominion, as far as I know, has never done that to me. They have never closed the rides early to me.
They have.
I don't.
They have.
If they have, it is not common because that's something I would remember. I remember it at Six Flags America.
I remember you complaining about it.
I know they haven't because whenever I get a night ride on a ride, I either go to Grizzly or Twisted Timbers, and I have never not gotten the last ride. I have never, when I wanted to, not gotten the last ride of the night on either of those two rides. I always stand outside the gate and wait for them to pull the chain there. And the employee will literally wait till 10 o'clock. He'll look at his watch, and then he'll go and take the chain and put the chain up on the ride, on the fence there for the ride. So that's not true. That's never happened to me. And if it's happened, it was a isolated incident, and it was very rare.
Well, the good news is, James, you can get in an hour early to make up for that.
All right. But the ticket holders that paid $100
the early entry rides, the gold pass holders have access to Ocean Motion, Midway Carousel, Gatekeeper, Kitty Kingdom, 11 rides in Kitty Kingdom.
Woohoo!
Cadillac Cars. I know you want to ride the Cadillac Cars. Cedar Downs Racing Derby.
You know it.
Dodge 'em. What? Cedar.
I want to ride. I want to ride the Cadillac Cars. That's all I want to do.
Oh yeah.
Marathon the Cadillac Cars.
Valraven, and Raptor. And then if you have a platinum pass or
Mm,
otherwise
get on Ocean
have early
Motion.
entry, you well, it's all of those.
Yeah.
And then you also additionally get access to Millennium Force, Maverick, Skyhawk, Magnum XL 200, and on Saturday and Sundays, you also can get on Still Vengeance early.
Indeed. It's a good list
So,
there for early entry. That is easily the best early entry park. I know King's Dominion before.
now,
I'm always like, oh, we got
see,
early entry, and then what they would do is they would always say, on these days we give you Rebel Yell and Twisted Timbers, and then half the time I would go and get early entry, they would only have Rebel Yell running, so I'd be like riding Rebel Yell for an hour, and I'm like, this is killing me. Come on. So this is a great risk. Even if some of these rides are down, you still have a great collection.
can I point out how, like, you know, hey, if you're a Platinum Pass holder, you get some benefits.
Yeah.
Look, see your points. Like, look, guys, you paid more for your pass. We're gonna keep giving you more benefits by like giving you access to all these great rides. Gold Pass holders will give you some benefits, but we're not gonna crowd out the Platinum Pass holders.
That's how it's done.
There's another chain. There's another chain that might want to take note.
Indeed, for sure. Oh, man. All right, well, I think we have about done it for this news segment of the show. Some interesting commentary and discussion and debate. But all of that and more will be coming on the next half of the show. I'm already looking at next week. On the next half of the show, right after this break. I just realized we never did a weekly poll for next week. So.
Nope, we haven't.
Good night, Travis. I don't know if you've already left or not, but good night. If you haven't, I don't know when he sent. Did he send that a while ago, or is that new? I don't know.
I don't know. I think he must have just sent it.
I wish there were time codes.
I was just gonna say that. Why doesn't YouTube timestamp it?
Ooh, Edon. Edon just replied to the poll on the website. That's good. I haven't heard from Edon in a while.
Oh, look at that. There's a toggle timestamp. So, oh, look at that.
Is there?
There are timestamps. 11:15 is when he said that.
Where are the timestamps? I don't see any. If you said you
hit your menu button.
Okay.
Yeah.
Add moderator.
In the chat, you hit the button, and there should be toggle timestamps right there.
I don't see that.
You don't see it?
Oh, wait. There we go. Hey. I like that. Now we can see. Now we can truly see how behind Pam is when she replies in the chat. All right, guys. What's a good weekly poll for this week?
Do you think ride lines should stay open up until park close?
Do you actually want?
Or do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair to close them early if the lines are long?
But you see, that's kind of taking out a that's not what I'm saying. So that's not like a. I don't think it's not fair. I just think you need to give a little bit more notice to what time exactly it will close. Because they can implement whatever policy they want. It's their park. But give us a little bit more information as to what that all entails would be great. Because it's like you give them an inch, they can take a mile.
I don't think so, Cam.
You give them, all right, maybe they'll close it 15, 30 minutes early, and then they're like, oh, well, we want to make sure that all guests get on the ride, so we're going to close it 3 hours early. I mean, they could do that. Not necessarily they will. Or that's likely. How do I see the results?
Cam, I see three or four people. Pan.
I just don't think anyone else is topping. I think other people listen, and Cam, you like, and like Travis, like you guys like to talk more. Which is fun. I enjoy seeing the chat active. It's nice to know that there's people out there, but some people just like to sit back and relax. All right, I see that there's 3 submissions, but I can't view them for some reason. There we go, view submissions. All right, thank you. So we have 3 submissions for the pill this week on the website, and then we have 2, and then we have 3 on. Then we have like 4 or 5 on the websites. Actually, that's a lie. We had a lot of people vote. The submissions this week were not explaining why you chose it. It was if you opted for option C to explain why you chose that option and what elements you would want to implement on the ride. What option would you choose?
Me?
Yeah. Or what option did you choose, I guess, or are you going to choose?
I'd probably say D.
How did I know?
I don't know. I'm so indifferent about it. Like, I don't think the outdoor section. I don't think really.
I would have guessed D. Just had it. Had I had it chosen for you, that's what I would have chosen. Either D. Actually, that's it. I don't know. I wouldn't have chosen anything else. There's not anything else.
I don't know. I mean, I could say.
I want you to go with what your gut instinct is. If it's D, that's fine. I'm not saying it's wrong.
I really don't know. Like I'm so indifferent about it. Like I said, the outdoor section of that ride was very little of it, I think.
I love that. I love that so much.
What?
Did you see that ad I posted with the shirt? Take a chance. Take a chance.
Oh yeah.
Take a chance. That just came up because it's the next thing next to my poll, next to the poll that we.
I was kind of thinking. I kind of like the. I think, I don't know. I really don't know which way to go, but I kind of feel like I would rather have the same Coaster Talk podcast logo on the back as we do like other shirts.
It took me so long
I don't
to
know.
make that Coaster Talk logo. I kind of like it. It goes with the theme of the shirt.
It does.
I don't know. I like that.
It's not that big of a deal.
It looks the same. It's just like in that fashion. Like it's the same. Like it's centered and everything the same way. Like I tried to make it pretty much the same thing as the actual text.
I don't know. I just think I think the big thing is I just really like the Coaster Talk podcast logo in the back.
Do you like the Coaster Talk podcast logo?
Yeah, just like it.
It is a great logo. Oh, Pam. All right. What's a weekly? I feel like the weekly poll could pertain to Cedar Point early entry stuff, but I don't know how we word it because it'd be kind of a long word. It'd be longly worded because I don't think it's not fair for them to do it. I think they need to implement. Like I would have to write. Do you think it's fair for them to implement a time blah 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 and then do this and yes or no? I don't know. It might get like kind of misconstrued.
No, don't use the word fair then.
Do you think?
Just say, do you expect
lines to close at closing time of a park? That's.
Yeah. The lines to remain open until actual closing time. Thinking sucks.
I guarantee you that a majority of the people will say yes. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'll be shocked if I'm wrong, but I might be. Thinking sucks, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
You don't like to think.
Mm-mm.
You do it a lot, though.
I do.
But if you change your mind, I'm the next in line. All right. I'm so mad, Pam. If you're still there, before I go on with the show here. The day before we fly in to go to Florida, Sugar Ray is playing in Busch Gardens, Tampa. I like Sugar Ray a lot. I don't know. Do you know Sugar Ray, Bob?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Pam probably doesn't know Sugar Ray, actually. She said she didn't really like listen to 90s music. They're 90s bands. So. But I'm literally, I considered flying in the day before just to go see Sugar Ray. And then the weekend before that, it's 38 Special, which, Pam, you probably do know 38 Special. So. All right. Are you about ready to resume?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. I just happen to click. Why does the Ultimate say it opened in 2020?
Did you get a random roller coaster on our CDB or something?
Standing but not operating.
Yeah, it looks like the Ultimate might close.
I know.
Which sucks. I've heard it's pretty unique. Great ride. I mean, it's pretty much, it's like a train roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's literally a mine
is.
train. Like, it's easily the best example of just a mine train. If you change your mind,
Take a chance. Take a chance.
I'm the next in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. That was easily my favorite ad to work on. I got to listen to that song so much. Oh, we can go dancing. We can go walking.
Formula Rosa is longer than the Voyage.
Yeah? Does that surprise you? Or did you know that?
It's just funny because it's like a short ride.
Yeah, because it's so fast, yeah. Let me tell you now, my love is strong enough. You know what I can't wait to do right now?
What?
Ride the Voyage.
I would like to ride the Voyage now.
June cannot come quick enough right now. Well, actually, April cannot come long enough, and then June. That trip's gonna be pretty great. I have a feeling. We don't have to drive an hour to get to the hotel, the Airbnb this time.
Oh, for a holiday? Yeah. I don't know though. I kind of like that. I mean, not the drive, but
I liked how it was like secluded. Yeah, it was.
yeah.
It was. I like that Airbnb a lot. Yeah, I agree. It just the hour drive wasn't the best. If it had been closer to the park, that would have been cool for sure. Because I really liked that Airbnb. Yeah. It really did. That and the Knoebels Airbnb felt like almost the exact same to me. Like they're both like out in the woods on like a weird body of water. I mean, one was a river and one was like a dried up pond. It seemed, but didn't they give the similar vibes?
No.
I figured, yeah.
Well, no, I don't think so.
I would have been shocked if you were like, yes, James, I agree with you. I'm kidding. They're both cabins in the woods. So to me, they felt very similar. They both were kind of far away from the park somewhat.
I guess.
Yes! Yes! I got it! Cam, you're trying to sound like Bob there. It's too late for me to think. He's starting to rub off on you. I think every week we both say that at least once. It's too late. I don't know why we don't start earlier then, if it's always too late. I guess we really can't. I could, but you can't, right?
I mean, most days I could because I try not to go into work on Thursday, but if we're keeping it uniform for those times that I do have to go to work, you know.
But could we push it to maybe getting on at 7 and we're starting at 8? Would that interfere with, like, even if you had to go into work, could you get home by 8? I mean, that might be...
Probably. I mean, we could.
I think that might... I mean, that probably works for everybody, too, because then people watching the live stream don't have to wait till 12 in the morning for us to stop. And if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Also, my mom has asked us to get on a little earlier at times before, so she'd probably be happy about that. All right, maybe we'll do that. All right, sounds good. We'll talk about it a little bit more later.
Let's not start it next week though, because I know next week will be an issue. I mean, that's the thing. If we do it, we may more likely, there may be times where we actually do have to bump it, but we could do that.
You said what? Sorry. I was ignoring you.
I know. We could do that. But just, in some cases we might have to bump it.
My love is strong enough to last when things are rough. It's magic. You want me to leave you there, afraid of a love affair, but I think you know that I can't let go. If you change your mind on the next in
Take a chance, on.
Honey, I'm still free. Let's start the show.
Before we get a copyright strike for something stupid.
You were singing the lyrics to a song which do not have the property of. All right.
3, 2.
All right, guys, welcome back from the break. Now it's time to talk about some roller coasters and theme parks, of course. Like always here on Coaster Talk Podcast. We're going to be talking about a Florida trip.
Wait, that's what we talk about?
Sometimes we very rarely venture into the theme park and roller coaster industry. But it is time yet again to get into that realm of discussion, as I'm going to be talking about my Florida trip here that Bob was this close to coming on. But alas, he will not.
Yeah. Money's an issue.
Money.
Well,
yeah.
Like, it's one of those, like, it's just that whole adulting thing. It sucks. Like I know I
Responsibility.
need to save some money for like other things that are more important.
What could be more important than riding
Furniture.
riding roller coasters at Busch Gardens Tampa or SeaWorld
Well,
Orlando?
I will tell you
Or
this: furniture has become a higher priority because today I've been really sore and getting up and down from my bean chair has just it was just not comfortable. So I really want a couch. I
you
really
need
want a couch.
you almost need it. It's almost a necessity. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just gonna quickly run down the itinerary here. So you guys, if any of the listeners want to know where I'm gonna be at, know what parks I'm gonna be reporting on, or if any of you live down that area, want to say hi or whatever, for sure would be cool. Nonetheless, I'm just gonna quickly run down the list. I'm gonna be Monday through Tuesday. I'm gonna be at Universal Studios. We'll probably be filtering back and forth. We have the 2 park pass, so we'll be filtering back and forth between the Universal Studios Florida and then the Islands of Adventure Park. Really excited for Escape from Grimgotts. That's probably one of the most highly anticipated rides. Also, Hagrid's Magical Motorbike Adventure is up there as well as a very anticipated ride. I would love to ride. I would love to ride Velocicoaster, but that doesn't look like it's going to be
It's
happening.
Velocicoaster. I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's been in social media really lately, but it's opening up down there. It's gonna be good.
Oh, what, a new roller coaster?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, and
What?
apparently it has like these really cool blue lights on it that no one's taken any pictures of for some reason.
No, no pictures of those.
None of them. None of them. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, I'm really excited to get to that park. I'll probably be taking some of those those photos as well, to be honest. Just because
I'm sure you will.
I'm sure I will. I mean, they're not bad photos. It's a good photo op. It's just maybe I won't post about them just quite yet. I'll hold them off on posting about it until later. I'm really excited to get on Hulk,
When
to
you're
be
down
honest,
there, look for Bruce.
too. Yeah, he used to be hanging out at Amity Island there at the Jaws ride, but I don't know where he's gotten to. I think he might have made his way over to Silver Dollar City, or so I've heard.
Yes. Yes, that seems to be where he's gone.
Seems to be where he's.
Although Carowinds has, I don't know, Carowinds might be a culprit in that.
They might be
too.
harboring him. Yeah.
Some really fun things happened on Twitter this week. If you don't follow Parks on Twitter,
Or if you don't follow Bob, Bob kept you in tune because he was retweeting them all.
yeah. Oh my God, I was loving it.
Mm-hmm. I made one little jab at it, but yeah, I wasn't nearly as engaged as Bob was with that thread of tweets. But yeah, that was a fun little adventure that was taking place this week on Twitter. After the Universal Parks, that's going to be the Monday and Tuesday. I didn't even say when I'm going. I'm doing Universal Monday and Tuesday of April. I think it's going to be April the 5th and the 6th of April. That'll be when we're doing that. Those 2 parks. Because what we plan on doing is we're going to kind of have Sunday and then we'll have that Thursday actually kind of as a to be determined just kind of vacant space that we have just in case we want to do something else, go somewhere that we weren't planning on, or if something comes up. Because what we're going to do is maybe do Sunday, just do Give Kids the World Village. But what actually seems to be happening is they might not need us really for the whole day at all, any of the day. So we might just end up volunteering for them like the short periods of time throughout the week. 2-hour spurts here, 2-hour spurts there. That way we still kind of accumulate a full day's amount of work. But since they don't need us for a full day's amount of work in any particular day, we might just end up accumulating hours throughout the week. So that way, now we have Sunday and Thursday kind of as a buffer. Thursday, maybe we'll do Disney Hollywood Studios, something like that. Who knows? We'll see. But yes,
You can't do Disney for a day. Can't do it.
You can do one of their parks for a day, and I'm gonna strap my GoPro to me, and I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it to the world that I did it in a day. I did Disney Hollywood Studios in a day. that Wednesday.
Just what's your appetite for more, though? That's the problem.
You see, I don't know if it will, because the thing with me is I haven't been to the Disney parks before, and I don't really, other than that park, I won't really know much of everything and anything else occurring in any of the other Disney parks. I won't be like, oh man, I really wish I'd just ridden Space Mountain. I really wish I'd just been over here or there. So for me, I think, and then of course I'll have other parks to still get to, so I'll whet my appetite, and then I'll be going to other parks. I know they're not the same as Disney, but to me, I don't think I'll run into that dilemma that you and Pam, a friend of the show's, has brought up. I don't know. We'll see. And then I'm also going to be doing possibly some Disney parks in California, so I'm not going to be too distraught by not being able to make it to all the Disney parks while I'm there. But that Wednesday will be at Busch Gardens Tampa. I just realized that I have BGW on there.
It's a long trip back.
Yeah, I think Pam actually. I actually asked Pam to send me the itinerary right before the show, and I think she actually sent me BGW as the park that we're going to be at. So yeah, we're going to be going to Universal, then we're going for 12 hours back up to Williamsburg, and then the next day we'll be at SeaWorld Orlando again. So we'll be driving all the way back down. We're really just trying to see if we can get our gas mileage up here on this trip. And that's our main objective. And then that Friday we'll be at SeaWorld Orlando, and then again the rest of the trip we'll be hitting Fun Spot. We're gonna get Fun Spot season passes because we'll be there so much throughout the week, and because a lot of the parks close at like 10 or 8, and then Fun Spot's open until midnight, so we'll be there at those parks I'm sure a lot. Again, we'll be volunteering at Give Kids the World Village, which I'm really excited about. That's honestly one of my most anticipated activities to partake in on this trip is that village. Just seems like such an awesome thing. I was actually watching a documentary, not to get on a rabbit trail here, about the toy store, the Toys R Us that used to be open, like 42nd Street in Manhattan, New York, like the huge Toys R Us that had a Ferris wheel and had Jurassic Park animatronic. It was really awesome, and the Ferris wheel cars are now used to Give Kids the World as their parade. Facades. It's really, really cool. So as their floats, kind of as the facades for the floats.
So I have a mission for you while you're down there.
All right.
Through the night, check out some TV channels and see if there is any paid programming for Family Auto Mart.
Family Auto Mart.
Yes.
I'll keep my eye out for Family Auto Mart.
It is like a train wreck. You can't stop watching. Anybody else that I honestly don't know. When I lived down there, this was just like the most entertaining thing in the world. That was just not entertaining, but very entertaining all at the same time.
It was painful, but fun at the same time.
It was literally a used car dealer that had these half-hour and hour-long infomercial spots that were so terrible that the whole purpose of them was to be so terrible so that you could not forget them. And here I am, like 21 years later, I have not forgot about these because they were the biggest train wreck. Actually, you can actually find them on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on YouTube. Family Auto Mart it was like Orlando and Kissimmee, and like they had a couple different locations. But oh my god, the first time I saw one of these, I was just like, "What is this?" And I found myself there an hour later, still watching it.
Oh, there's a Auto Mart Family Man Dance.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh man,
oh my god, just anybody who's listening to this, just look it up. Family Auto Mart on YouTube. I think Family Auto Mart should bring it up. I'll actually double check and see.
I just looked up Family Auto Mart.
We can actually.
That came up. Family Auto Mart guy seems to be the the most common search term. That's what popped up when I looked up Family Auto Mart, because I must be that one guy does all the wacky commercials. uh, but yeah,
Family Auto Mart, fixing to learn ya. That's oh yeah, they're there. Just look up Family Auto Mart on YouTube. You'll find yeah.
all right.
You'll find them.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, I'll look out for that, and I'm gonna look out for those floats at Give Kids the World Village. I'm excited to get to Busch Gardens, Tampa, Seaworld, Orlando, Fun Spot, Kissimmee, Orlando. It's all going to be happening very soon. It's only like 2 weeks away now. It's really weird to think about that. It feels like I've been planning this for a while, so it seems weird. Normally, what I do is I plan trips, and you probably the same way. It's like it's very immediate. Like, oh, let's go to this park next week, or let's do this trip next week. I don't
What are you
normally
talking
plan it.
about? It's like I wake up and go, you know what? I'm going to Six Flags today.
Typically, typically, unless there's an event that I know about, like Hollywood Nights, for example, that's something that I do plan out. But if there's not, I typically just am like, you know what? How about next week we go to this park? Like literally last year, right before COVID hit, I know a lot of you know I went to Six Flags Fiesta Texas and SeaWorld San Antonio. That was like literally the week before that we were at East Coaster, and I was like, my mom and me were like, let's just go to Texas. That's the kind of thing I typically do. So to have this trip planned out for a couple months, it feels weird that it's like 2 weeks away, if that makes sense. But it's coming, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited. So, all right, let's talk about last week's weekly poll real quick. Mystery Mine was up for topic last week because it had just been completely refurbished. They'd added some new track, or completely new track and supports and everything to the outdoor section of the ride. Basically, the drop and the Outer Bank turn had been completely removed. It wasn't the Outer Bank turn either. It was like what did they call that turn? It was like a U-turn. That's what they called it, I think.
I don't know what they called it.
I don't know, but it
was
basically
weird.
it was like it's like one of its only kind. It wasn't an Outer Bank because it didn't bank outwards. But whatever. I don't remember the actual terminology for that element now, of course. But they removed that and they added a very shallow, now it's like a 60 or 50 degree drop and just like a little turnaround that it's pretty blah, to me. It looks pretty blah. It's not the same as that 90 degree drop out of the brake run into that awesome turn there. It's pretty boring. So we asked you guys, what would you have done though? Obviously you don't have the same opinions as us, as me or Bob. So we asked you guys, what do you guys think? What would you have done with this ride if you'd had the chance? And 24 of you said add new track but keep the same elements. So basically replace the track that exists now, or that had existed, but keep the exact same elements in place. That was the most voted on response. The second was the response C, which was add new elements and add new track. So that's completely add new track and new elements. And then we asked you, but if you were to do that, what elements would you add? Because you can't just say add new tracks and add new elements. What elements do you want to add? So we got some responses from people there. We got, I would add an inversion after the drop that turns you back around into the helix. So instead of having this shallow drop and the turnaround, he would have like some sort of inversion there. I really can't tell if this response was being serious or not. I think it is. I think this is like kind of his imagination, to be honest. But it's a pretty funny response. He said an LSM launch into a banana roll and then a couple of bunny airtime hills. I mean, if it's fair game, you can add any elements you want. But still, when I saw that, I couldn't help it. I couldn't tell if it was like sarcasm or satire a bit. But exactly, if you have the option to do so, add whatever you want. Someone said keep the left turn as it is now, but bank it outward. Then instead of a new drop, have a declining heartline roll into the turnaround mid-course. Same pathway, but more interesting new elements. That definitely sounds interesting.
It's just the whole problem was just trying to reduce. They were trying to reduce the headbanging, I think, and I don't think that really solves that problem. I think that might actually make it worse.
I don't know. I don't know. With the new track, I feel that the experience will be smoothed out.
What they should have done is just change the trains.
Exactly, and that's exactly what the next response is. Good segue there, Bob. I wouldn't have changed any track or elements. Just put a lap bar on the train instead of the over-the-shoulder restraint.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
agree. If they had done that, I would have no reason. I would probably choose option B, and then I would say you need to add the restraints, new restraints, because I didn't have an issue with them, but I have heard people have had issues with those restraints. So if that's the problem, change them. Sure, I'm fine with that. There's no reason to not do it. I mean, they're definitely not the most comfortable restraints. They're very boxy and they kind of, like they completely like restrain you. So just for bad lack of better words, that's what I know. That's the point, but they do it to an even greater extent than normal restraints. So yeah, that's what I would have done. What would your choice been?
I mean, I really seriously, I think that they should have just. I don't think they had to do anything with the track. I think they should have just changed the restraints.
All right, well
I
then
think
we're in somewhat of an agreement there. We don't have to argue. Good. All right. Well, we did kind of argue about this on this week's show, and this is going to be next week's weekly poll. When you go to a park, do you guys expect the lines to remain open until close? Was that your expectation, or when rides close early, which I think is a rare occurrence? When they do it though, are you disappointed or what? So do you expect them to stay open the whole time, till 10 or till 9 or till whenever they say the listed closing time is? And that's going to be a weekly poll for next week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We just released our newest shirts to the store. They're pretty great. The Take a Chance on Chance shirts that we've been forecasting for a while, that we said we were going to get up on the store, and we finally got them up there. They're pretty cool shirts. I like them. Yeah. If you want to, but if you also want to,
I like to say, especially, and I think everybody should take a chance on Chance
exactly. So it's a great.
because
It's a great
great
marketing
ride.
for us because it has the Coaster Talk on the back, and people will be like, "Oh, Coaster Talk, that's cool." And it's also great marketing for Chance. Maybe some park executives might be like, "Oh, there's a kid walking around this park with Chance. Let's look into him." Possibly. It's very rare that it's very unlikely that would happen, but maybe. You can only hope, right? But if you want to purchase that shirt or any other Coaster Talk shirt, go to coastertalkpodcast.com/shop. If you want to answer the weekly poll, which is, again, do you expect lines to remain open until close? coastertalkpodcast.com/poll is where you'll do it. Or you can follow us on social media, and we'll post it to there as well as other amusement industry commentary and Bob retweeting things about sharks. That is at Coaster Talk Pod, at Coaster Talk Pod, at Coaster Talk Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And then Bob has a Coaster Talk account, Coaster Talk Bob, and I have a Coaster Talk account now, Coaster Talk JB. I couldn't put Coaster Talk James. It's too long of a username, so I had to shorten it down to JB there. But yes, also follow us on YouTube at Coaster Talk Podcast, which is all three separate words, Coaster Talk Podcast. Contact the show with any comments, questions, or concerns, coastertalkpodcast.com/contact, or email james@coastertalkpodcast.com or bob@coastertalkpodcast.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been a great show. Actually ended up being a lot longer than we expected, to be honest, but nonetheless, it was fun.
Usually happens.
It always happens. We could pretty much write one news story down and we'd be here for at least 45 minutes. So
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys on next week. What the fuck am I doing? We'll see you guys on next week's show. We'll see you guys all on next week's show. Thank you guys for. We'll see you guys.
All right, now I gotta watch this. Fixing to learn, yeah. I can't
Thank you guys
hear.
for listening, and we'll see you guys all.
Why can't I hear YouTube?
Wait, hold up. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys all on next week's show. Here we go. I don't know why I said Coaster Talk Podcast. I said Coaster Talk Pod, Coaster Talk Pod, Coaster Talk Pod. Like, that's pretty bad. I should just write this as. I'm just gonna change this now that they're all the same username, actually. Because it used to be Coaster Talk _pod, and I changed it. This is a lot easier. I'm a genius, Bob.
You're a genius.
I am.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. Overnight. actually ended up
Why
being
can't I hear you
good, to be honest.
at all?
But nonetheless, it was fun. It always
I don't
happens.
get it.
At Kosher Talk Pod, at Kosher Talk Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. At Kosher Talk. That is at Kosher Talk Pod.
I can't reach my
Retweeting things about sharks.
volume control.
That
I gotta crawl under my desk.
is at Kosher Talk Pod. At Kosher Talk
Oh, I'm too old for this.
Pod. At Kosher Sharks. At Kosher Talk Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
I can't reach.
And then Bob has a Kosher Talk account, Kosher Talk Bob,
Darn it.
and I have a Kosher Talk account now, Kosher Talk JB. I couldn't put Kosher Talk James. It wouldn't. It's too long of a username. All right. Okay.
I don't know.
Is this 115? 113.
There we go. I can hear it now.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Oh, are you gonna die? What's going on? And Bob has died. Thank you guys all so much for listening.
Pretty much.
Sounded like it. We're about to reach our 2100th download on the show. 21,000th, sorry.
Wait, what?
21,000th download.
Now I can't
on the
hear
show.
you.
You not hear me?
Yeah, what?
I said we're about to reach our 21st thousandth download on the show.
Woo!
We are family. All right, I'm gonna call it a night here. I gotta go to bed, get ready for school, eat a snack. If Bob doesn't respond, that means I'm ending the stream.
Wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm watching Family Automart commercials
I said I
because
gotta.
they're so entertaining.
I'm gonna call it a night.
All right. Yeah, let's call it a night so I can go watch Family Automart commercials and remember what it was like to live in Florida.
All right. See you guys next week.
See you guys. Good
night.
night.
Have a good